Someone in this room is racist. It could be anyone in this room. It could be you. It could be me.
It could be anybody. I like that. I like that. All right, let's
like
add.
that, Paul? You like that?
I do actually.
I as a kite.
As a kite, correct. All right, save that.
Good.
Hey, Hid. That's how it do be. Doobie doo. Oh, I didn't get it in time. Usually if I get it in time, it'll change the thumbnail on the Discord notification, but not this time.
Mal's in chat.
Mal's in chat. Well, that's just crazy.
Crazy show?
Exactly.
Hannah is too.
Alrighty. Well, in that case, I better switch back over. Can everyone hear me all right? Make sure that I am heard well enough, given where the microphone is and where I am and all that good stuff. Make sure that I am loud enough, that the music isn't too loud. I think I turned down the music earlier to be at good levels. Let me have a look. Yeah, I think it's at a good level. Saturday night, bro.
Yup. Always.
That's worry. You should look into that.
No.
Alright, well, then in that case, let's go ahead and get started. No point sitting around. Let's jump right into it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. Alright, game found.
They can hear you fine.
Good, good, good. I'm glad to hear that. Alright, so we've got our first match of the night. Oh, I'm excited.
You should be.
Should be good, right?
But what? They want to know how to get good as Shaolin.
Ooh, that's a good question. When you figure it out, let me know.
Jarl of Helheim just dropped $20.
Whoa, Jarl of Helheim
Yeah.
with the money. Thank you, man.
Was hoping to do this again. Now I can keep up with the amazing work, and glad to be a part of this community. Well, hey, man, we're happy to have
Thank you.
you.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the money. That's always appreciated. Thank you so much. Oh, that's ugly. That's very ugly. That Kyoshin's drip is fine, but the hair color with it, that's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Black would have looked a lot better with that crimson and black look. That white is glaringly bad. Like it's gonna.
What if he's just old, dude?
He may just be old, you know. I mean, go with a blue. A blue looks better with white, or maybe purple, or a lighter color is all I'm saying. Or if you're gonna do it with crimson, have it white and crimson, or silver and crimson. You know, have it blend a little. That just stands out too much.
Okay, let's see.
That's just me.
Speaking of Crusades, this is a question for you both. Do you have a favorite story from the Crusades, or having to do with the Crusades?
A favorite story from the Crusades? Lark, what would you say is your favorite story from the
My
Crusades?
personal favorite is during the first Crusade. When the Seljuk Turks actually met with the official crusading force for the first time, it was quite hilarious. This is actually a really funny story. So, the Seljuk Turks' first encounter with Crusaders, I use it in the loosest term possible, was Peter the Hermit's peasant crusade, and while being peasants, they didn't fight all that well. And so the Seljuk Turks weren't exactly impressed with Western Europeans. And so when they hear that another group is coming, they're like, yeah, whatever. Only to find out this is actually a very good fighting force that specializes in heavy cavalry. The Seljuk specialize in horse archers. And coincidentally, they also, the horses they choose to ride are typically mares, female horses. Whereas the Norman knights, or the Frankish knights, that are part of the crusading forces, are typically stallions. And the mares happen to be in heat. So you have a bunch of heavily armored knights destroying the Seljuk Turkish army, all while the last thing a Seljuk Turk is seeing dying on the battlefield is his horse probably getting busy with one of the knight's horses who just killed him. So That's hilarious to me.
It is quite humorous. My favorite is when I was learning about the Teutonic Order and the Baltic Crusades and the like. Just learning about what a stark contrast the Baltic Crusaders were when fighting against the pagans. It was not pretty. I love hearing stories about how the pagans, who lacked the tactics necessary to even be a threat. To even be a threat to these knights. Because one thing that we give in mind is it's not easy to kill a knight. Knights are incredibly skilled warriors. They have the best armor that you can hope to have, and they're very good at cavalry. They're very good at horse usage.
Yep.
So the idea is like it's very different between fighting between a basic footman and fighting a knight. There is a difference.
Yeah, it's also kind of like when the like Saladin basically says, "You see a Templar soldier, kill him immediately. Do not take him captive. Otherwise, we're gonna have a bad time because those guys are the special forces of the crusading states."
Correct.
I like your mask. What a chop to say it to. Pierre says, if I had to give a response, it's when the Christians and Muslims were literally just hanging out between battles, and one of the Christians proposed they have their children battle each other. That is such... I feel like that comes from, like, the Germanic tradition of the Crusaders. What if our kids just started duking it out? What?
You know how it is. Kids, kids are kids. They'll do what they do. Alright, pick you up. Turn me around. Oh, shoot, you're gonna need help, aren't you?
More than likely. How are you two tonight? Are you guys vibing? Chilling like villains?
Yeah, we're good.
I'm not sure we're chilling like villains, but that does sound cool. I like that phrase.
You captured
That's
some
smart. Let me see. Maybe you should do Warlord for a match at some point tonight, in honor of the last episode. Perhaps.
Perhaps we can.
Oh yeah, they also want you to check out the new Hypothetical.
Good job, you three. You ganged up on one person and you won. Truly, yours is the greatest tactic.
Indeed.
Anyway, yeah, I might do Warlord at some point tonight. But keep in mind, I had to play a few matches with Warlord to get the footage, so might want to do a few other heroes. And I will play Itakiri at some point to try to do the execution. Alright, looks like we've got... we don't have the lead in points, but we've killed a few of them, so that means we can start capitalizing on territories. And they're on to A. One of them's going to come to me, I'm sure of it. Yep. Pirate, hi.
Spinning deflect. Hey Raven, I was wondering, the Chinese actually use the Dao like Tianji or the Jian Dao instead?
There was the usage of Dao, particularly in the martial arts. Got an Aramutra who's playing fully defensively. Yep, notice how he's playing strictly defense. He's now only getting aggressive now that he has revenge. Now that he has revenge active. Light spam.
Oof, that's rough, buddy.
Well, when you light spam, you don't get any sympathy from me.
Well,
The ninja doing the chicken dance.
bit rude, isn't it?
Bit rude. Let's turn B around. I don't like that we don't, that B is a problem. Alright, fix that.
B's always.
Let's go to C because you're getting ganked and I don't like that one bit.
Yeah.
Oh, you again.
Fierce Overrated says, The Teutonic Crusade is the most interesting crusade for me. It's such a different area with constantly evolving warfare that was basically kind of back and forth insurgency war. Very true.
Alright, you're dead, Nobushi.
Hey Raven, who is the most toxic hero in For Honor War?
Oh, whoa. And pirate running away. You don't even want to stick around and take credit for that? Man, that's some cringe shit. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Hey Raven, who is the most toxic hero in For Honor War?
That would be Warmonger, because they use the
Yeah, I would say Astria, because, well, not only character, but, well, she's using the Draconite.
Alright, since you want to use nothing but lights, let's have a light spam off, okay? Light spam off, let's go. Good move. I win. See, your lights are good, Nobushi, but mine are undodgeable. We are not the same.
Okay. What's the next lamentation? I forget if you already announced it. Is your computer misbehaving again? The next lamentations I will be working on is the Vampire Clan from Skyrim. Still in production through that. That's kind of on semi-hiatus since I'm doing the Assassin's Creed Red series. And those Assassin's Creed games can take some time. So
I think we're taking a break from the lamentation so we can focus on the.
I'll probably start work on that once I finish with Origins, because Origins is a pretty long one, but I got to work through Unity first. But don't worry, it's still on the back burner. I occasionally touch it in a while, but I might get the footage finished sometime soon. But the script writing and editing will have to take a backseat for right now.
All right, let's go help out Shinobi here.
Oh, Raven, I got to thank you as your writing room and many theological questions you've answered. I was discussing things with my friends on how to create an organization based on Christianity.
Sure, cool. There are lots of great ways to do that.
Zone A.
Sorry, correction, was the Tao used like the Tiandi used it on the battlefield, or was it more like a dueling weapon?
Dao is probably going to be more of a dueling weapon. I probably wouldn't take a Dao onto the battlefield personally. For one thing, while it is a nice sword, range is going to be an issue, and also this is a I mean, they're using it one-handed, but a lot of Dao were two-handed, and I wouldn't trust a two-handed sword with this kind of range. Nah, I mean, Dao's not bad, don't get me wrong, but I see it more of a martial arts weapon than a weapon of war. That's just me, though.
That's what Francis. Yo, what up from Portugal? Up at 1:45 since I can't sleep. Oh, we're sorry, man.
Well, sorry that you're having trouble sleeping, but...
Well, maybe we can put you to sleep.
Maybe we can put you to sleep. We're pretty boring around here. That's it. We won that one, boys. Woo! We beat the light spamming Nobushi. And that Oramusha didn't get a single takedown. I'm sorry, brother.
You hate to see it happen.
Came close a few times, though. You did come close.
Mouses had me in the first half, not gonna lie.
Had me in the first half.
Yeah, oh, and the follow-up question, like, was the Gion Dao more popular with soldiers?
Depends on the era. Different weapons fade in and out of popularity over the course of different... GG, bro. Oh, thank you, the OP Blaze. Were you on the enemy team or my team? Yes, you were the Shinobi on my team. Good. Yep, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Glad that we got to play together. That was fun. But you left the team, so we can't go in and do it again, can we? I'm sad. But anyway, yeah, it depends on the era, because different eras spark different periods of what kind of weapons became popular. Like, for example, the Guandao saw a specific era when it became popular. The Miao Dao had a period where it became popular. You know, so different weapons had different periods of popularity. All right, we have done Hyandi. Let's do... let's go ahead and do Hitakiri. We got Hitakiri's new execution to try, don't we?
That you do.
Let's see if we can't get it.
What makes the Gladius more useful than the Dao in terms of warfare?
Okay. It's a good question, and I'll explain. The Gladius itself is not a better weapon in terms of warfare. It's what it's paired with. Most Roman legionnaires had their shield with them. And the great thing about this shield is that when it's so large and all covering that your opponent will bounce off it, and you don't need that long reach. You don't need to lean out beyond your shield. As soon as they hit your shield, just thrust behind with the Gladius. It's short, it's easy to carry, it's strong enough to puncture armor, it's good enough to just be a stabbing weapon. The Gladius, when paired with the shield and used in a tight Roman formation, was incredibly effective. The Dao sword would not be... If you took the Dao sword and put it in the same scenario, the Dao sword is not a stabber. It's a slasher, which is a little harder to do when hiding behind a shield, you know? Slashing requires more arm waving rather than a thrust, which you can pull back, push forward, pull back, push forward. Slashing requires up, down, left, right, sideways, diagonally. You need to get your hand free from your shield. But if you're just thrusting, that's a little easier to do from behind the shield. So in warfare, you got to realize in warfare, you either want to have a shield or you want to have armor that is going to protect you very well. That's why shields faded out of use later in the medieval ages for knights, because their armor was just so good after a while you didn't need shields. So they could say, all right, lose the shield, pick up two-handed weapons, you know? We don't need the shield anymore. Because that's the beauty of having full-plate armor. But with cultures like the Vikings and the Chinese, where their armor just never got to that level, shields always had a place in the eyes of the warriors. So because of that, you want a weapon that can pair well with a shield, be it a spear, a pike, a gladius in the case of the Romans. Short swords were very effective in that way. So that's why I think the gladius was a better weapon of war than the Dao, at least the Dao we see used by Tiandi.
You see, the glory of Rome is eternal.
All right, we going in with the Hitakiri, the serial killer.
Okay, so Azrael Kane had his teeth extracted, and now he can finally eat solid food again. After hearing that, hope you get over your soreness. Who do you think is the best hero in terms of just all around, like being good at armor, being able to survive most situations?
Good question. Ah, dang, Pirate, you got me. I thought for sure you were going to feint into a guard break to throw me over the ledge, but no, you wanted that execution, didn't you?
Yes, they do.
In terms of all situational usage, I don't know. Right now, Conk is pretty much good in whatever situation you put him in. Nobushi's pretty good in most situations. Zhang Jun's great in most situations. Pirate, not as much. It's a little funny. Hi, Shaolin. Bye, Shaolin. Hi, Hitakiri.
We got a Hito stick.
Ooh, you read me. Oh.
You lost Zone A.
Ah, crap. I thought he was going for the other guy. I misread it. Oh well.
Hey there, Killer Panda.
Hey, Killer Panda, what's up?
I hope we get to see Warden die from a spatula or a whisk. That sounds like whiskey business to me.
Ah. Alright, I think they can handle C. I'm gonna...
Okay.
Did the enemy Shaolin really run to our spawn level to drop one of these? Really? Yeah. Some people... I don't understand them.
Indeed.
I don't know why they want to do it. It doesn't provide anything other than letting them know where we're headed. And I'm like, see, the thing that I have against that is, what good is it to know where I'm headed if there's literally nothing you can do about it? It's kind of like, oh wow, they're heading to Zone A. I'm nowhere near Zone A. But my team can see them. They're nowhere near Zone A. They're getting ganked. Okay. Congrats.
Okay, let's see. Got a few questions that have rolled in at this point. Sorry, would you say that slashing or thrusting was more effective use for the majority of weapons?
It really depends on the circumstance, I'd say.
I would say thrusting is because just the usefulness of spears throughout history. Like, slashing is good, but it's easier to block and defend against. But soldiers really do love their slashing weapons, but thrusting in general is typically better, but it's harder to hit.
Damn, y'all don't like me.
No, I think they took that last match.
I think this pirate took last match way too personal.
Indeed.
Yeah, alright. Alright.
Alright.
So the question was, it really depends on the circumstance. Slashing, I think. Here's the thing. Thrusting can get you in deeper into the attack. Like, if you attack with a thrusting weapon, you're going to go deeper and have a better chance of hitting internal organs, but the problem is you need to be precise. Hold on. Pirates running to heal.
Can you blame him?
Got him. All right.
we do it?
Oh, dang it. I hit the wrong one.
Ah, well.
I hit the wrong one. We'll still get it. We'll still get it. Before the night's over, we will do it.
We got a hook, line, and sinker. Okay, let's see. Hey, Raven and Lark, who is the most overrated general or military commander / leader in your opinion, and why?
The most overrated?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. Alexander the Great was a little overrated. Only because a lot of his successes came because his father gave him the army.
Yeah, it's not that he was a bad general per se.
He was great. He was great, but he already had his army. You know, he didn't have to build it up. So that,
yeah, like his success, like his Alexander the Great could only run because Philip II won.
Oh man, the minion killed me before I could do my execution.
I would say for me, the most overrated general, or rather just military commander, would be Custard.
Oh, General Custard, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's a terrible military leader.
George Washington also, but then again, people know that he was.
Yeah, well,
he was a good leader, not a good military tactician.
Yeah, his claim to fame has never been his military prowess. But the thing is, Custard got popular for being on McClellan's staff in the Civil War, and then everyone at the time, like when he died in Custard's last stand, it's like, oh, the great boy general, how could he be killed in such a savage way? In reality, he was just a terrible military commander. Alright, let's see. Hey Raven, can you give me tips for BP? I'm trying to master him, but I was wondering if you can give me some tips.
Hold on.
Let's focus on this thing.
Ah, crap. I didn't think he was going to guard break. I thought he was going to dodge. Alright, tips for BP. Genuinely, there's not a lot to say with BP. Focus on your shield bash into light combo. I wouldn't focus too much on your bulwark stance unless you can really read them well. And feint your unblockable attack. Feint that like crazy, because what's going to happen is when you throw it, they're going to want to try to block you, and they're going to want to try to at least dodge it, and I would take full advantage of that. Also, don't use the Sendon Kari, the soft feint into a shield bash too often, because usually they can read that pretty well.
You captured Zone C.
And to clarify there, Piers, we're not saying Alexander was terrible per se. We're just saying he's overrated in comparison. And it doesn't help that a lot of the Greek world, particularly successor kingdoms, were kind of just over glorifying him for a long time. Like Alexander the Great was like the best of best. The Romans did it too. They just everybody was trying to LARP as Alexander. But the thing is, they really should be trying to LARP as Philip II. Not Alexander was terrible. He was good. Don't get me wrong. He was good, but just we do think there's a little bit of him being overrated.
Man, I want to get the execution done tonight, but they are making it very difficult. I keep ending up in bad situations, and that pirate is very mad at what we did to them last match. She's hiding behind her betters.
Yep, and we did hear about the Japanese Prime Minister.
Yes, I heard about Shinzo Abe. I am very disappointed. That is a very sad situation.
Hey Raven, I have a question related to both knights and samurai. A Ronin was a samurai without a master, but did knights have their own version of that?
Not really, because it was a very different thing. See, knight wasn't a social class, it was a military class. Oh, come on! You should have let me have it. I needed to do the execution. whatever. If we win, we win. You know, that's what's important.
Yeah.
That's what's important. I'll just keep healing, and then I'll go help out killing that. Well, they're going to kill the Itakiri. It's no contest. We're going to win, and I'm going to bet that the pirate traveling gamer, he's going to pull out, because he's not going to be happy that he lost twice.
Okay. Hey, Raven, were kunai ever really used by samurai in Japanese military? And if they were they used like normal knives?
Kunai knives were essentially digging tools. They lock picking maybe for a foothold, but I wouldn't use one for attacking or fighting. They're especially not throwing. They're not weighted properly to be throwing knives. I don't know where we sensationalize that.
I think it's just like sort of like there's a unique look to them, and so as a result, people sort of were drawn to them, just because, you know.
The key to throwing knives is you want them to be weighted properly so that they're thrown well. Kunai or not.
I mean, I suppose if like you had to defend yourself with something, but...
And believe me, here's the funny thing: a lot of people say, "Oh, what was this? Was this a legit ninja weapon?" There's no such thing as a ninja weapon, because think about it like this: if you're a ninja and you're supposed to assassinate someone, you don't want people to know like your calling card. They don't want people to know, oh, this shuriken belongs to this ninja. You know, no. So the weapons they use were also available to the samurai. So it's like, oh, the kusarigama is a cool ninja weapon. Samurai weapon. It's a Japanese weapon. It was available to both, you know. The ninjato, though, there's no evidence to suggest the ninjato exists. There is no evidence to suggest it exists. All right. I just did Hitakiri. Let's not repeat that. We'll do Hitakiri later and try again. We need to do a Viking this time. Let's go Highlander. I'm feeling Scottish today.
What if the Centurion hero met the new hero? Would he recognize him since Rome and Egypt existed in similar time period and were very intertwined?
I mean, this is a different world than our world. The time frames will be a bit different. You got to recognize that when Rome and Egypt were doing their thing, it wasn't quite the Rome y'all are probably thinking of. This Centurion looks to be around, what era would you say, Lorik?
Probably around Trajan's era.
And so the Egyptian period of that time, I'm sure people are going to think, like, oh, well, it's like Cleopatra's era. No.
It would actually be after that, like, because at the time Trajan's era was around, Egypt had been a province for a while.
So, and not only that, but keep in mind that with Egypt, like, what this hero is probably going to be, if I had to bet, it's going to be a Magi. And the Magi were along well before Rome showed up.
Yeah.
You know, they actually ceased to be a thing by the time Rome came around. And I know Assassin's Creed Origins. In Assassin's Creed Origins, he was a Magi and Cleopatra was a... No. They took liberties.
they did, in fact, take liberties, and we'll get to that when we get to that. But as far as, like, would they may not recognize what he is, per se, but he might be able to recognize, you seem Egyptian to me.
Right.
Or
right.
It's like, you at least seem Levantine, or along that line. But he probably, if he notices he's Egyptian, he'll probably go, hey, you're the guy that grows my grain.
If he sees the Egyptian, he'll probably go, hey, you. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Kneel! A great spawn.
Yeah. Rome and Egypt. Egypt wasn't the Egypt we know. Caesar is literally closer in time to modern rap music than he is to the ancient pyramids.
Yeah.
Little known fact, Little Caesar was actually big in the rap scene back in the Roman period.
Although, and to be fair, Cleopatra owes her position as Queen of Egypt to the good old Caesar. So let's be fair there.
No, but Ptolemaic Egypt is not the old kingdom.
Here's the thing: lots of people like to go, "Oh, Cleopatra, she was such a badass, a woman leader." I'm not going to say she was a terrible leader. I'm going to say that wasn't.
She did what she had to do.
Yeah, she did what she needed to do. There's a reason she was played by there's a reason she was a whore.
It's like she did, like I said, what she had to do because she's stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Oh yeah, she had it rough.
But like you finally think you find your ticket out of here with Caesar, and then you hear you have a son with him, and you hear Caesar gets killed, and now you have to choose between Octavian, who's not going to let your son live, or Mark Antony. You're screwed.
Oh my God!
Weren't Caesars also pharaohs? I don't believe they ever took up the title of pharaoh.
No, they never took the title of pharaoh.
Alexander the Great took up the title of pharaoh.
Yeah, he didn't take it up. They named him pharaoh. They were so happy that he came in and kicked out the Persians. Okay, you were just waiting on me. You were just waiting to bait me into it. But good job, man. And now you're dead.
How close does Cleopatra compare to Queen Hatshepsut? Night and day.
Night and day. Totally different.
Well, Queen Hatshepsut was able to revolutionize trade and economics. She was able to be like the biggest power player in the Mediterranean at the time. Cleopatra had to deal with Rome on the rise.
Yeah, so she had nothing to save her.
Yeah,
it really is the definition of a rock and a hard
The
place.
fact she was able to keep Egypt as independent as long as she did is impressive.
So don't get us wrong, Cleopatra did good things. But she just couldn't do all probably that was beneficial. She was very much a slave to the circumstances. Where's the enemy? Oh, there you are.
I also remember Ghost of Tsushima and Jin's more cruel tactics against the Mongols. Dark question: would samurai frown upon deliberate cruelty to an opponent, like torture or overly brutal killing?
Depends heavily on the samurai.
Also depends on the enemy too, because to another samurai they might frown on being overly brutal because you want to treat them with honor. But if like a peasant's getting uppity, no mercy.
The thing about samurai could be cruel. I mean, they practice crucifixion.
They boiled people alive.
They had cruel torture methods. So this whole idea. Here's the thing about Ghost of Tsushima. I love Ghost of Tsushima. It's a fantastic game with a fantastic story with fantastic characters. I love Ghost of Tsushima. But a lot of its opinions about honor and Bushido are very much fictional. The honor that they talk about in that game is built around the Bushido Code, which was not a thing during that time period, and the Kamakura period, and it was not and even then it was not thought of in that manner. And what I mean by that is their way of looking at Bushido was we look our opponents in the eye, we don't sneak up on them, we don't use torture, we don't use hostages, we don't do that kind of stuff. No, samurai their mentality was we're going to do what is needed to get the victory. Hey buddy, your Highlander buddy's not here to save you, Berserker. That didn't work out so well, did it?
Indeed. Alright, Cleopatra was in denial. Love that joke. That's actually one of my father's favorites. Hey Raven, in Persona 5, who is your favorite character? Makoto Nijima for me, and this is Warpath the Loyalist.
In Persona 5, Makoto Nijima was good. I liked her, but she wasn't my favorite. What was their name? I liked the girl who played chess. I liked her just because she played shogi, but
that's like
it's essentially Japanese chess.
Except for all the differences, but yes.
I liked her, but I know you mean main characters.
You captured Zone A.
It's hard. Yeah, I'm probably going to say Makoto. Lots to her there. I also liked her big sister.
Well, that was an interesting relationship. So samurai, realistically, would probably be mostly fine with his tactics?
Most samurai would say he was incredible. He pretty much single-handedly saved his whole island. He would have been revered by most of the samurai for how ingenious he was in his tactics and how he was able to save everything. He would have been named a daimyo. Because, here's the thing. Surprise attacks? Are you kidding? That's exactly what Oda Nobunaga did. He was all about surprise attacks. His claim to fame was a surprise attack. So, don't you worry. They were fine with all that. They would have been very happy with what Jin did.
Daimyo, samurai, hold me, my main man. I need you to punch this baby. No, really, I require you to roundhouse kick these twins. Come on, you want your honor, right?
Well, here's the thing, the punishment had to fit the crime, okay? Samurai, they technically had the right to kill people that offended them. But the problem is if you just keep killing people willy-nilly and without consequence, it's going to look bad for you and it's going to hurt production of raw resources. So there were rules, there were checks and balances to make sure that that didn't happen. But the thing is, in wartime, you had to do what you needed to do to win. Remember, honor for the samurai is not about being respectful in battle. Honor is about being victorious in battle and serving your daimyo by being victorious. So that is honor. Hi, Warden.
I like to interpret Lord Shimura's idea of honor was his own personal bias. He was a skilled warrior and leader of morals and fair play, but those stopped serving him once the enemy played dirty. Very interesting. Hey Lord, how much of an impact did Turnabog have on Rome in the grand scheme of things?
Turnabog?
Yeah, the ambush at Turnabog Forest, which, you know, Varus, Quintilis Varus, give me back my legions.
I parried, what? I know I parried that, are you kidding? Whatever.
Knight with a hidden blade, who would have heard such a thing? Foreshadowing. But anyway, with Turnabog Forest, it basically changed the mindset of the Romans had of Germania. Before that point, Augustus was under the opinion, hey, it'll take some time and resources, but if we can sort of like move in and turn Germania into a province or multiple provinces, we can stabilize that region. Because the Germans have been raiding the empire, or yeah.
Cute move, Highlander.
Indeed.
Just literally sat there until you could get someone to kill with your spear storm. That was cute. It's what he did the entire match, you'll notice. He liked to hide behind other players. Very cute. Alright, good job. Now, let's see who's emote spamming so I can guess who's going to quit. Let's see. Come on, zoom in. Oh, he's executing, that's why.
Well, there you go.
Zoom in, I want to see. Who's emote spamming?
Oh, no one.
Well, at least none that I can see, but I'll probably bet Highlander will quit. That's my bet.
But yeah, the Germans have been a problem for the Romans for a good long while. And so there was Augustus' hope that he could sort of, you know, civilize them. And there was some degree of success. Some German tribes, though, resented it. And eventually, after Turnabog, it basically changed the psyche of the Romans toward, like, these weren't like the Gauls, these weren't like the other barbarians as crushed. Taming Germania would be nigh impossible. And so they went and...
Oh, I called it.
Indeed you did. And so afterwards, they basically, whenever they would go into Germania, it was not to conquer, it was to exterminate. Because after Turnabog, Germanicus, a Roman general, went in and basically exterminated every German tribe he could find. Yeah, and that kind of just cemented the relationship between Rome and the Germans for time immemorial. All right, moving on. Is there a Don Quixote version of the samurai?
Not that I know of.
Hey, get on that.
I haven't heard about it.
You got a writing project there, Static Ethan.
Let's go.
Hey Raven, what do you think about Fate the anime series? Oh, we got opinions on that.
Fate is all sorts of confusing. I don't really follow it closely. I mean, I know some of the characters by sight, like I'll recognize certain ones, but I just look at it and I go, I'm sorry, you got way too convoluted way too quickly. Oh, look, it's all of the enemy team is not PS4, they're either Xbox or PC. This should get ugly.
Yep.
Especially since they're Hitakiri, Pirate, Zhongjun, and Kyoshin.
Ooh, this one's rough.
This is gonna get ugly.
Which For Honor hero is most likely to become a Jedi if they were Force sensitive?
Well, that depends on how you wrote the character.
I'd probably say Shaolin. This is a base class.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe Orochi. Could be Kensei. Or could be Warden. It really depends, again, on how you write your character. I mean, you get this idea that Hitakiri is a sociopathic monster, but what if you wrote a morally altruistic Hitakiri? You know, it's not impossible.
Yeah, Pierce, we see the Waffen SS symbol up there.
Oh, yeah, I see it. I see it. They being edgy.
Mm-hmm. Darth Esther, yeah. Best for honor Sith, obviously Astria.
Yeah, probably. Astria would make a decent Sith.
Raven Alark, do you think that the Hitakiri served a shogun, and has there ever been a child shogun?
There was a child regent. There was a child regent. When Toyotomi Hideyoshi died, he left his son in charge, and his son was only about 5 years old. Well, actually more like 3 or 4. And he told his council of 5 to keep an eye on his son and to groom him to be the next regent. The wishful thinking. Of course, the council of 5 wasn't going to take orders from a 3-year-old, so they were already setting the framework to create, to put themselves.
How about a vegan shaman? Nah, just impossible.
Yeah, I tried earlier to do this execution, but I never had the chance. Oh well. It looks like tonight started off decent, and now it's going downhill. That's a shame.
At least we have the memories.
We have the memories of when we had fun. Maybe it's time to pull out Conqueror. But y'all notice that we haven't seen a Conqueror all night. What does that tell you? No one wants to play them. No one wants to play against them.
Kind of kills the fun of it if you play Conqueror.
Yeah. Oh, you can light parry. Yeah, you can light parry. Who would have guessed? Damn it. Oh well.
Hey Raven, Stormcloak or Empire?
Empire.
Empire.
Moving on. We don't have to explain it. We released a whole video about why. Moving on.
Actually.
Moving on.
Speaking of evil regimes and dictators, if you were left on an island, what dictator or tyrant would you bring along as a survival companion?
None. Moving on. Why the hell would I bring along one of those?
Back to For Honor topics, what was your favorite part of Orcos v Chimera art? If you have one.
I don't have one.
Raven, you pissed off one too many BuzzFeed journalists. One of them must have put a curse on you.
I guess. I'm not having much luck tonight. Well, at least not at this point. But then again, they are all playing Kyoshin, Hitakiri, Pirate, and Zhongjun. Some of the most hard-to-beat heroes in the game. Kyoshin wouldn't be so bad, except there's no real way to punish a Kyoshin. You have to bait them. Zhongjun, the perfect anti-ganker with high-tier, unblockable heavy capability. And all this one's doing is throwing lights and keeping me out of the zone. See? Yep, lights. There we go. Pirate, while not as broken as they used to be, is still a 50-50 master who can just wreck your shit with their dodge cancellations. Hitakiri, I love that one person who goes, "You lost to Hitakiri, how bad are you?" I'm like, and I challenged him. I said, "Would you like to fight me where I play Hitakiri? Would you like to fight me where I play Hitakiri? Would you like that?" But then he never took me up on that offer. He just kept saying, "GG, have a good night, GG." Like, why don't you back up? Why don't you back yourself up there, Chief? Why don't you actually fight me? Light parry, I love it. Alright, kill me. Kill me. Thank you. Alright, do your execution. I'm done. Yeah, I've only got 1 official kill, 2 assist kills. And how many times has this guy died? Once, yeah. I think he's a PC player too, so I'm screwed fighting him. Our whole team is just sucking wind. Look at that. Look at our score. Oh my lord. And all 4 of them are just ganking up at our spawn point. This is not a good match. This is a very bad match. And you've been quiet, Lark. Is nothing going on in chat?
I was kind of letting you go.
Oh, I was waiting on something to be said.
Alright.
Captured Zone
Let's
C.
see. Hey, Raven, what's your opinion on Darth Vader as a villain?
Great. He's a fantastic villain. That's even a question.
Just different people have different opinions.
I've never known anyone who thought Darth Vader was a bad villain.
Nobody respect anyway. Hey Raven and Lark, seeing as Ubisoft is apparently going more fantasy, do you think they'll go so far as to make customization options to let you play as fantasy races?
No. They will not do that.
Personally, I like having fun up runner, so I strictly play bot matches. Is that bad?
No, it's not bad. That's why I play bots against the, in Breach. The problem I have is this. 2 problems. Number 1, every time I do a stream where I play against bots, I get the same question. Why are you playing bots? Are you bad? And I'm tired of getting that question, because I always answer the same thing. It's not that I'm terrible. It's that I prefer to play bots, because I prefer that experience. But then they just go, you're trash, man. And so I'm tired of hearing that, so I play PvP, even if I lose a lot, to just say, there, I played PvP. Now you can say I'm trash, but I still played PvP. Oh, this is shameless. Look at this.
Yep. Hey Raven, out of all the heroes you've made, which one would you get along with the best?
Rude. Jesus, what the hell? God, all 4 of you just sit... Man, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Playing the orange characters, aside from Conk, and just wailing on anyone who even walks close to you. Guys, I've played a lot of matches of For Honor, some really crap matches too. All of that right there was some cringe shit. Yeah, but we're done with this. Once this match is over, I'm finding a new group to game with, because that was cringe. In fact, I'm deliberating just playing against bots. Like that. If that's the way it's going to be tonight, I'm not doing one of that.
We have done a couple PvP matches, so...
Well, I don't want to quit straight to Breach already.
Right.
Like, it's not even 9:30, bro.
Okay.
That was cringe. And my guess for who's going to quit... let's see who emote spams.
Defeat.
Yeah, Kyoshin's gonna quit, just calling that. Pizza Kiri might too. Yeah, Kyoshin's probably gonna quit. Let's find out.
If you're able to delete any hero from For Honor, who would it be?
Aramusha or Kyoshin, either one. I would gladly lose Aramusha or Kyoshin. Gladiator's next on the chopping block too. I would delete those 3. Alright. No one's quitting? Well, I am. I'm pulling out of that. That was all kinds of cringe. Alright, what do you say, chat? Should I just switch to playing against bots, or should I keep going PvP? If I play against bots, I don't want to hear anyone else, why are you playing against bots? You suck. I don't want to hear that.
Wait for the comments to roll.
No, it's fine. Just went really quiet, so I was worried that nothing was being said.
Bots.
They're all saying bots? Bots?
Yep, they're saying bots.
Okay. Bots it is. Alright, let's see. Let's go heat to here so that we can get that execution.
Yeah, Raven, we'll do another response video eventually.
Well, here's the thing about doing response videos. I've got to find something to respond to, and most of the stuff that's come across my desk, either there's not enough bad in it for me to respond to, or Lark stops me. Because Lark will point out, I don't think you should respond to that. Probably a little too risky to respond to. Or say, this might offend someone, or like, is that really something we want to talk about? Stuff like that. Because there's a lot of stuff I could respond to, because there's a lot of stupid crap out there to respond to. But genuinely, like, some of it, I just can't. Like, for example, I was sent one that I could respond to from Monstrum, where they talk about hellhounds. And I watched the first half and thought, man, they are being very misleading, and they're being dishonest about a lot of cultural hellhounds and what they represent. And they make a very unnecessary bash against Christianity that I would love to call out. But the rest of it was fine. The other half was totally serviceable. To the point that I was like, is this worth it? There was another one that I saw, which was about, black people can't be racist. And that would be an easy one to respond to, but I would get blasted for racism. So, couldn't do that one. There are lots of response videos I could do, but some of them I just can't look at.
Let's see. So did your Erosion officially join the Vikings, or is he loyal to the Zealous family?
He's with the Vikings now.
Hey Raven, why is Gladiator on the chopping block? Don't you love Maria the Serpent?
Because I don't like Gladiator. I've always hated him. Gladiator, I like Maria the Serpent as a character. The Gladiator class is one that I really can't stand. Their mix-ups are gods here. They're toe-stabbing fetishists. I just have trouble fighting against them. So I'm like, nah, get rid of them. I won't shed it here. Aramush is kind of the same to me. Those light-spamming, multi-directional losers with the stupid hats.
The hat for me. Is Warmonger's fighting style even slightly practical?
No. Constantly drops her guards multiple times, overextends her reach in almost every scenario. Sanhu, why do you keep stealing my kills? Yeah, I wouldn't use her fight. And the use of the bitch slap with her claws, no, I can't say that's practical.
Dearest Ember says, I have a reaction video I could give about how colonialism fits in Lord of the Rings and how Tolkien was some kind of closeted colonialist, despite original colonialism causing the Harad. Maybe, drop it in Discord.
Drop it in Discord, we'll see if we can't look at it.
Anyway, what is the most unforgivable emote spam, if there is one?
Emote spam in general annoys me.
I mean, if you're just doing it to mess around with your buddies, that's one thing. But if you're doing it like to teabag over a corpse,
well, that's what gets me. It's like you're teabagging over the corpse, and what I love about it is the ones who usually do it are the ones who are actually really bad, hid behind their teammates, and are mad that they were bad, so they want to kind of gloat over you when you die. It's all kinds of cringe. Not as cringe as other things, but that's not what we're talking about.
Just join the stream. What's your opinion on Hito's new execution?
I love it. I think it's fantastic. But I'm not going to give it its grade until all 4 of the new executions have come out for the season. Just like I did last time where I graded all 4 together. I'll wait for all 4 to come out, then I'll give it a grade.
Okay, sorry. What's the most forgivable emote spam?
There are none. They are all equally annoying to me. Because what emote spam is not done out of malicious intent?
It's kind of like watching butt dancing in Dead by Daylight.
Well, I mean, think about it. When is emote spamming not done for malicious intent? Is there a moment? I can't think of one.
I guess if like there's nobody else around, and I mean just you and your buddy, like you say, like you run into a zone, and you see your buddy there, nobody else is, and you just raw to each other.
You captured Zone A.
Bot 3s with the god tier level to light spirit.
No, we've never played that game.
You
What?
lost.
Lord of the
Zone
Rings
C.
Conquest.
Never played it. Never played it.
Would the Clan Sakai armor, the black ones with antlers, be used in actual combat, or would it just be ornamental there for looks?
Probably there for looks. You might see it on a daimyo or a high-level officer, but you wouldn't see it on a soldier. That's so smooth. I love
Zone
it.
C.
Oh yeah.
That was a rough one. That Shinobi's hard to beat.
You lost.
Raven,
Zone
what
A.
gladiator class would you put in the game if you could replace Glad?
I don't mind Gladiator as a concept. I don't even mind his trident. His moveset is cringe. I mean, I know people like it, and don't get me wrong, he's effective. I just struggle to beat it. That's why I don't dislike any hero for, like, historical or practical reasons. If I dislike a hero, it's because I don't like fighting against them, and I think that there are toxic people who play them.
On a lighter note, I went camping recently, and my grandpa gave me an axe. It was kind of rusty and scuffed, but it's like a heirloom of sorts. Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, I have my granddad's old revolver.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too.
That was a pretty cool Christmas present, I gotta say.
Oh, yeah. Dumb question, but what do you think of the whole edgy player stereotype? Wearing dark spiky armor, walking into fights around the map rather than running into them.
I know that annoys some people. I really don't care. I mean, there's a place for edginess, and it really doesn't bother me when I see it. It's like, oh well, you like the dark, edgy type character. That's cool that you do. Glad you like it. I mean, I could see the appeal in some cases. Like, definitely like in ones like Black Friar.
Yeah,
I could see it there. I could see it in Warmonger. I could see it in Lawbringer. I could see it in some characters for sure. But, I mean, it doesn't bother me one way or another.
I think for me, I don't mind edginess in video games so much. Like when the edginess becomes either like so overbearing that it's but it's unironic, or like when the person outside of the game is trying to unironically be edgy.
Right.
And it's just kind of like, dude,
edginess. That's like, I think when you play a game, you can be edgy a little bit because, you know, it's a character you make for a game. You got to realize it's not real. It's a character you made. You're role playing a little bit, and so like if you want to play your Dark Knight for Justice, play your Dark Knight for Justice. You know, it just don't be that in the real world. Like that's why I play a female character as most of my characters in most games. It's like it's role playing. It's playing something new, something different from me. I don't want to be me. Like there's this joke going on in my church right now, where one of our friends named Kyle, he did a commercial on YouTube. You can actually see it for Cornerstone Baptist Church.
Just Cornerstone Church, we dropped the Baptist.
Right. Well, for Cornerstone Church, where they go, this is Kyle, and you'll see Kyle walking in to eat his breakfast. He's eating his breakfast. Kyle is happy today because he woke up in time for church, or so he thought. Then Kyle starts, what? Yep, he forgot that today church is at this time, not the normal time. And then he checks his phone to see that it actually started an hour later. He's like, "Oh crap, I'm late!" And then he runs off and he goes, "Don't be Kyle." And we turned that into a joke. Like now whenever I see Kyle, I go, "Hey man, words to live by. Don't be Kyle." And he goes, "Yeah." And it's just become a joke. But me, I'm like, "No, don't be me. Like, don't be Raven. There are lots of things to do in your life. This, what I am. This is not it. Don't do this."
Oh. Pierce Everest actually apparently replied to that video he wants you to see, and he talked about how the nature of Christianity and its mission could and was used in terrible ways, and she didn't even read that part. She just called him racist.
Yeah, that's what they always do. Like when I sent a comment to Lily Orchard that one time, she just called me a piece of shit and told me to get lost. I'm like, you are a pleasant person.
It's like that scene from that Chevy Chase movie where it's just like, "Thank you very much."
In honor of the death of the Yu-Gi-Oh creator, I will play the Blue Eyes White Dragon. I will now play the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Kyle is an edgelord. Don't be Kyle.
Kyle's not an edgelord.
He is incredibly bombastic, which we
Kyle's
love.
crazy, but he's the good kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
we love that dude.
I love Kyle. He's a great guy. Like, no joke. He can be annoying. I mean, we all can. But overall, he's a great guy to be around. He's the kind of person you want to watch your back because he cares about everybody.
That he does.
He can be overbearing at times, but he cares, and that's what I appreciate. Not a lot of people are like Kyle, and that's a shame. There need to be more like him in the world.
Don't be Kyle. Be like Kyle. Kyle, do as I say, not as I do. Now, watch this drive.
Actually, Kyle started watching videos on my channel. He watched the Fantastical History series, and he's been watching our Assassin's Creed rank, so he's familiar with the channel. Kyle, if you watch this, know that we love you, bro. But I won't be you.
He'd respect that.
He'd understand, too. But we give him grief all the time. We do. We're coming to him.
He gives grief in return, so...
Well, he gets grief, but he makes it so easy. That's the problem. The boy makes it easy for us.
Someday we may have to have an interview with Kyle. The do's and don'ts of Kyle.
The do's and don'ts. Kyle.
Hey Raven, since the new armor skins seem to follow an elvish theme, do you think that Elrond's sword from The Hobbit would be a good saber-type weapon?
You lost.
Gosh, I don't remember what his saber looks like. Maybe? Oh, winning the drink. That's so unfortunate.
What kind of drink are you drinking? Hey Raven, how much of a Chad is Centurion? I want you to watch Dova Hadi's Unbiased History of Rome, and that'll give you an idea.
That Centurion was not Chad, though.
Chadius Maximus. Don't be Kyle. Kyle was late to church, and as a response, he was run down by a wild Roman tiger tank prowling in the nearby brush, which then sunk its 88mm shell into his ankle bones. Don't be Kyle.
Do not be Kyle. Please, for the love of God, do not be Kyle.
Shatter. Hey Raven, who would be the king of the pirates in history?
That would, well, it depends on your criteria for what it takes to be the best or king of the pirates. If you're talking about most successful pirate, there are two that you could choose from. Black Bart, or Bartholomew Roberts, is considered the most successful pirate of the pirate age because he had a whole fleet of ships, he established his own code, which made sure mutinies were very difficult, he lasted quite a while, and he accumulated the most treasure of any pirate that I am aware of, at least during the Caribbean times. But if you want to go throughout history, Chung Sha would be the queen of pirates because she amassed a larger fleet than Black Bart ever did. She was successful for longer than Black Bart was, and was not killed, but accepted a pardon and retired in Canton happily.
Maybe Long John Silver. He has a successful path to the gym.
Very White lightning.
You lost. Zone C.
Call me Seto Kaiba. I've unleashed the blue-eyed white dragon.
Kyle means Aramusha. Don't be Kyle.
Hold on.
Ratio.
You dodged that like a champ, brother.
Brother. Who would be the pirate king of all fiction? Captain Sparrow or Barbarossa? Luffy?
Luffy.
All, if we're going all fiction.
If we're going fiction, Luffy is the pirate king. Okay. I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
That's hilarious. Why it appears, however, my opinion of Christianity wasn't even utterly glowing. It was nuanced and neutral. She immediately got triggered and ran off, claiming she couldn't deal with the stress. Oh, God.
Well, that sounds like a typical moron. I can't deal with the stress of opinions that are different from my own. Stop talking.
My sister in Christ, you posted the video.
You posted the video. Did you really think someone wasn't going to disagree? That's the nature of making anything on the internet. Someone is going to disagree.
Oh, gosh. We brought the Kyle joke here. Kyle joins the railroad. Don't be Kyle.
That's going to be a new joke. If that ends up on a shirt,
we'll have to give him some degree of royalties.
I'll give him a hug later. Kyle, know that you've made me a very wealthy man.
Ma, Kyle's out there again. No, I'm not inviting him to dinner. Actually, you don't have to. Kyle will make his own dang dinner. He's actually a really good cook.
Kyle is actually a pretty good cook. No shame.
When I first moved down here, he actually invited, like, hey man, I'm hosting like a dinner at my house. You want to come? I was like, oh sure. I like burgers.
White lightning.
Because I thought it was going to be like burgers and hot dogs. The man made shrimp Alfredo for us all. It was amazing. Then he served up with gnocchi soup.
You captured
Maybe this opinion filthy journalist.
I'll never forget. Okay, so Lily Orchard made this video, right? And it was about Steven Universe, I believe, if memory serves. Was it Steven Universe that I replied to, or was it another one? I don't remember. But no, don't get me wrong. I think Steven Universe is garbage. It's one of the worst kid shows out there. I personally can't stand it. Hold on. There we go. Now we'll do a white light.
You captured Zone C.
Okay, anyway.
More the sulfuric yellow, actually.
See, like, I had the blue eyes in that execution, so it counts. Anyway, so as I was saying, and she was and here's the thing, I hate Steven Universe, but what she was saying I thought was so effing messed up. She basically was saying that the diamonds who are the totalitarian rulers of the Gem Empire were fascists, and she compared them to a lot of people like Mussolini, Hitler, and all them, obviously, but then to just people who were not fascists, like just people who disagreed with her. And she was very hostile, very vitriol in her language, just using swear words all the time and all this kind of stuff. Now here's the thing. I sometimes swear when I'm really angry or upset, and I try not to, not because I think swearing is awful or anything, but it just shows a lack of intelligence if that's all you do. If all you do is just drop fuck, shit, fuck, and all that stuff over and over again, you sound very unintelligent. It sounds like you don't have anything intelligent to say, so you're just going for shock value. So I try not to do that all the time. I try to be more intelligent than that, you know?
Yep. Basically, you went on to say just like, hey,
and all I said was, I think it would mean a lot more if you didn't constantly insult people who disagreed with you, and use all these awful swear words. It makes you come off as more intolerant than them, you know?
And she got real mad at that.
Yeah, just got real mad. Just told me to get lost, all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, Shinobi, this didn't work out for you, honey.
The classic locker room question, when a pirate is Shinobi, we now know her.
You captured
The
Zone
blue-eyed
C.
white dragon.
The only logical choice you could make. Now, here's the real question here. If Kaiba loves the blue-eyed white dragon so much, why did he destroy the fourth copy in the first episode? That always bugged me.
Why did? Yeah, that's a great question. Why didn't he just use it himself? Like he always says, "Now this one will never be used against me."
It's like,
but you won it.
But like, you could have like stuck that in your deck and been like, you know, a fourth one, which would have made your deck even more powerful. It would have been even harder for Yugi to beat you. But no, you just tore it apart because presumably you thought he could get it back. Like, it makes no sense.
You're stupid. You're just stupid. Okay. Well, I better help out over there. That's not looking good.
Oh yeah.
No, this is not happening.
Swearing is a show of unintelligence. Now I become very stupid when I stub my toe on the corner of the coffee table. Now, that's fair. That's totally fair. But the thing is, like, swearing isn't necessarily bad in and of itself. But the thing is, if that's the only thing you're saying, then
let me put it this way: if I have an argument, let's say that you and I have an argument, right? Let's say that we're having a disagreement, and I say, like, let's say that we're talking like religion. And I say, I believe that Christianity is correct because if you look at this evidence we have that dates back to the Roman period, we see that this and this happened, blah, blah, blah. And you have no response, so what you say is, you're just fucking stupid, you know that? That's not an intelligent response. You're using shock value. And then when I say that, when I say, calling me fucking stupid does not make you look, it does not mean you're right. He goes, yeah, you're just a shitty person, you know that? You and all Christians are just shitty people. You all are shitty people who try to rule over other people. You don't let people fuck, and you just constantly drop swear words. I'm going, these aren't good arguments, and you're using shock value to make your argument sound more powerful, when in reality, you sound like a basic bitch. And so I'm like, you could try saying the argument better. You could argue with, my problem with Christianity is the fact that it feels restrictive on my lifestyle choices. And I'm like, okay, we can have that discussion. That's an interesting point to make. We can discuss what restrictions you're talking about and stuff like that. But when you just say, you're fucking keeping me from doing the things I fucking want to do, you fucking hypocrite. Like, that's when I go, dude, stop with the swears and make an actual argument or we're done here, you know? And when a person actually just insults me and just says you're fucking stupid, that's when I go, well, I won this discussion. You don't have anything to say, so you're just throwing ad hominem. Woo! That's how I usually know I've won a debate, once they resort to swearing.
Have you ever heard of the Cathars?
In what context?
No, they're the heresy.
Oh,
the one the French king said, I couldn't help but notice you had land and
yeah, I know. We know of the Cathars.
I'm not sure the Albigensian Crusade was necessarily justified, but they were definitely heretical. Because they had some wonky beliefs.
There is no question, in my mind.
Kyle enjoys higher Guardian Spice, don't be... Okay.
Okay, no, let's not go that far.
I like picking on my boy, but that's a step too far.
That's paramount to heresy right there. We cannot...
Unless, what if you're enjoying it, like it's like one of those things that's so bad it's fun to watch?
What to go? You know, we were talking Centura Bear earlier. Let's go Centuria.
Everybody loves Centura Bear. Except the Parthians. The Parthians do not like Centura Bear.
But yeah, so for me, that was the reason. That's the reason I didn't enjoy Lily Orchard. Lily Orchard is one of those people who genuinely doesn't understand what the word fascism means. They're one of those people who swears so much that they think that that'll somehow make them right, and disavows anyone who thinks differently. And frankly, I just disagree with a lot of what she has to say. Just a lot. Like saying that Darth Revan is the most overrated or most bland character in Star Wars. I'm like, are you for real? Saying that the best character in Star Wars is some chick from the Old Republic game who deserves her own movie if, and only if, this was her words, she has a Jedi girlfriend. I'm like, really? I cut myself. Damn it.
Don't do that.
It hurt.
Zane.
Shit. I'm good. Just a little blood.
Now you're practicing self-harm.
Well, it's just a little blood. It's fine.
All that for a drop of blood.
All that for a drop of blood. The blood of Urson.
For one drop of the God bear's blood, I will do your bit.
Suddenly there's this guy with a book outside my door. One drop of your blood, Lord Raven. No, get out of my house.
Please, no, I have a white raven. It's cool.
You lost.
It's not a raven, it's a crow. Shut up.
How would Zhang Yi Sao do against the British Royal Navy?
Xin Yat-so?
Yeah, Zhang Yat Sao.
Against the British Royal Navy, she would not do well.
Oh, no.
That's one of the reasons she knew that she was going to eventually fail.
Yeah.
Because the Chinese had asked the Polish to help.
Not the Portuguese.
The Portuguese, I'm sorry.
The Poles wish they could have had that influence.
She asked for their help to come in and fight the pirates. Hold on. This Orochi's surprisingly good. Yes. Anyway, so because see the ships that the pirates used were good ships. They were better than typical fishing junks that the Chinese Navy was having to use, but they were no match for European ships. Okay, there was just no contest. So you're gonna be real honest. That's the big difference.
Here's a spicy question. Do you think violent video games cause, or what do you think of the violent video games cause violence debate?
I think that's silly. I think that can you learn violence by playing video games? Can you learn violent actions and deeds? For sure. Do I think that violence in video games causes violence in the real world? No, I don't think that. I don't think that correlates. Because here's the thing. If that was true, there are a lot of young boys who play video games on the regular.
Oh, gosh. It reminds me of that thing. Remember my gender comm class when I had to watch the male guys? That documentary nonsense?
The male guys?
Yeah, remember that, like, it was that documentary that basically said toxic masculinity is responsible for all the world's sins, and, like, basically everything you and I enjoy is evil. And I lost my nonsense, and I actually wrote up, like, this long essay basically saying that...
Here's the thing. You cannot resort the evils of the world down to just one thing. I think that's a common problem that we have. That's one thing I like about the movie Wonder Woman. You know, in Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman is, she thinks that if she just kills Ares, if she just kills the god of war, that'll fix everything, that'll end war everywhere, humanity will be nice and friendly again. But, it's pointed out by Steve, it's never that simple, you know? Life isn't that simple. I wish that there was just some one big bad guy that could put an end to all the world's problems. But there isn't one, because there's always going to be another one. There's going to be someone else who disagrees. There's going to be another person who rocks the boat. There's going to be another person who caused a problem. And maybe it's us. Maybe it's just humanity as a whole that's messed up, you know? Maybe humanity itself has problems. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. There's not just one villain that you can beat. Killing Hitler? Yeah, you get rid of one maniac. What about when the next maniac shows up? What about when the next problem arrives? There's a lot of things you got to keep in mind about oh crap. There's a lot of things you got to keep in mind about the reality of the world. I think that we get this misconception that if you just kill the one villain, everything is fixed. But evil is never just about one thing. And so saying video games, if we get rid of violent video games, that will end mass shootings, that'll end violent men, that'll be... If violent video games was really the cause of all violence in the world, guys, video games would have died out a long time ago. And here's the beauty of it. Of all the mass shooting young men out there, do you think that all of them were just video game players? And even then, they make up a tiny fraction of video game players in the world. Why am I not a massive killer? Why am I not an evil person? The Lawbringer, I'm gonna sit down, lay down, and think about what you just did. I'm victorious. Anyway, why am I not a savage killer? Why am I not a brutal serial killer who shoots up schools and stuff? Because I play violent video games. Why am I not doing that? Why am I not? And I'll tell you why. Because it's not video games that causes it. There is an evil in man's hearts. There's an evil in man's hearts that is festered by incompetence, by laziness, by pettiness, by the sensationalization of sinful desire. Oh yeah, I forgot you have the thing.
Yeah, it's a silly argument. I mean, in games I've played, I've committed literal genocide, but I haven't gone out and done the serial killers and anything. No violent crimes are on my record that you can true. But thing is, it's such a silly notion. It's like always like violent media has like violent crime for a long time was actually going down after violent style video games came out. So there's no real correlation. And it says like, oh, this killer played Doom. Well, yeah, so did the office worker down the street, but he isn't shooting up the place.
This killer played Call of Duty. This killer played Halo. This killer played...
Like, this killer played Halo. He also was a violent sociopath before he picked up the kite.
He also was a furry who enjoyed My Little Pony. Like, are we going to say that My Little Pony fans are secretly killers?
For the sake of...
Are we going to say that furries are secretly killers?
I mean, that's what the Black Templars told me.
The Black Templars, I dare not disagree with them.
They're doing the Emperor's work.
This is true.
Now we're opening Pandora's box. That wasn't necessarily all evil, but all illness and stuff. I did an actual several argumentative essays in school defending violent video games. As a personal anecdote, I use them as an outlet because it helped me let loose my own anger. Yeah, it's for some people, it's a good way to unwind and relax.
Yeah.
But honestly, I wouldn't say violence in video games is what makes you go violent. I would probably say unfairness of the game might make you throw a controller, but that's probably the extent of it.
I used to have people who told me that I was a dangerous person because to let off steam, I would do martial arts. I would punch heavy bags. I would kick heavy bags. I would spar with people when I was frustrated or needed to de-stress. And they would say, that's dangerous right there. And I'm like, better than taking it to the street, I'd say.
Yeah, punching the street would hurt far more. But also, like anything like they can get up and just say is like causing, like it's all sensationalism. Just like when D&D first came out, this is occult nonsense. Harry Potter comes out, it's promoting witchcraft. Like, slow down, guys. Most of us are able to separate reality from fiction. Black Templar smashed down the door. Y'all talking shit about us? Why no, Crimalvis, we would never do such a thing.
Oh, hold on. Come here, monkey. I feel good about that.
Lord Raven, you're utterly wrong. Remember when the Crusades happened? All the Crusaders were hardcore gamers and weebs. They played Feudal Warfare 2 and immediately ran a spear through a Saracen. How could I forget?
I forgot all about that. I also forgot about what was it? Everything that happened in the Bible. David and Goliath. Goliath was secretly a player of Halo.
Yeah. Adolf Hitler famously was a fan of Wolfenstein. I was surprised too.
Who would have thought?
When will we learn?
When will we learn?
And oddly enough, Stalin, Minecraft player.
And Jack the Ripper really had a thing for the Care Bears.
Not a video game per se, just had a thing for the Care Bears.
You never would expect that.
Yeah. Oddly enough, great butcher, that guy. Like, not really. Finest slabs of meat you'll ever get.
James Bundy, never would have guessed it. Had a thing for My Little Pony.
And Candy Crush.
Candy Crush is a little lesser now.
Absolutely. Hey Raven and Lark, what do you think of John Paul Jones as the father of our Navy? John Paul Jones is a Giga Chad.
Yeah.
Man literally said, it's like, listen, we're going to need the French, rely on the French for the Navy. John Paul Jones says, I bet, jumps on a ship, sails over to England, starts blasting up ports, gets nicknamed a pirate, lands in it, captures a British ship, takes it over to the Dutch, brandishes a new flag the Dutch made for him, comes back, retires, then gets hired out by the Russian Admiralty to become an admiral, dies, gets sent back, and now has a little shrine dedicated in Maryland. Giga Chad.
Indeed. Indeed.
I just play Halo for funny or alien math. We all Greetings! Hey Raven and Lark, would you two work on a cartoon together if y'all had the chance?
Sure.
we had the
If I had the funding and the resources and the chance, I would totally help make anime. Like, dude, I have ideas. Don't stand in my way.
I have concepts and plans.
We have things we want to share with the world.
To quote the opening of Rome Total War, and I have plans once the Gauls are gone.
I don't know how we fired these from the ships, but
Hey, Pierce, you can't say that one of the towns that John Paul Jones sacked that gave him an honorary pardon. He's rocking it in heaven now. But yeah, I completely understand why the British would call him a pirate. That's fair. Still awesome.
Yar har fiddly dee. Do what you want.
You captured Zone C.
PK, get out of my way.
You lost.
Hi, Raider. Oh shoot.
This might cause an argument. The Predator or the Covenant Elite? Well, if it's all of the Covenant Elites versus the Predator, then the Covenant Elites. But if it's like one Sangheili versus one Predator, I'm probably going to give it to the Predator. Unless we're talking like an Arbiter level character. What historical figures would you put in a different time period?
What historical figures? I don't even know where to start with that. Oh, you gotta be kidding! Ah! Well, it's what you get when you find a bot 3.
I would show General Sherman the Sherman tank with the flamethrower attachments. I think he'd get a kick out of it.
I would show George Washington a AK-47.
We gotta get everybody on this. Nice. Because man was a fan of the Garandoni air rifle. Wait until you see the upgrade, sir.
Sir, you haven't even seen its final form. No, you don't.
Oh, it's you're quoting a song.
Lost Zone C.
I play Halo because of the deep lore.
You captured Zone A.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the new Predator movie. I only started to hear about it yesterday.
How do you always know when I'm going to the All Guard Raider?
When in doubt, use your head.
I'm dead. Ah, I haven't gotten a kill. Damn you, bot 3s.
Oh yes, apparently Mussolini was also a fan of Assassin's Creed.
Mussolini, Mussolini, where you be? Here I am, dragged through the street.
I would show Jesus to the Crusades and see how he acts. You probably go, hold on, I got some talking to do. I'll be right back.
You
Maybe the
captured
first
Zone C.
PVAI match I lose.
But Raven, don't you know George Washington the founders could never have thought a gun fired more than once? I love that argument and bringing up stuff like the buckle gun and the Garandoni air rifle. It's like, not only did they know it could exist, they were fans. How about showing King Alfred the Great, the Victorian British Empire? Ooh, he'd be a happy camper.
Gotcha! Nope, nope.
That's a very bad yarn.
Yes! Ah, dang it!
Aramusha, this is why nobody likes it.
This is why I don't like you, Aramusha.
I would show Rolo the Norman Browning automatic rifle. Oh, going back to like Vikings and showing them boom boom sticks? Oh, that's fun. I guess some of the Vikings probably did see that when they got hired out as Varangians and they got introduced to Greek fire. Raven, do you think you could Steam Elder Scrolls Online in the future?
I'll have to re-download it, but I don't see why not.
Probably would stick more to Skyrim, honestly.
Oh, son! Son! You got beat.
I would tell Gus about Turnabog. No, we gotta warn Aurelian and Majorian. We gotta warn them quick.
Anywho.
You captured Zone A.
I know we don't. No, you don't, Yorn. No, you don't, Yorn.
I maintained this for years. I would show Caesar a Glock 19 before he went into the Senate building. That'd be interesting.
Yeah! Yeah!
Elder Scrolls Online is 73 odd gigabytes. Rip my hard drive. I know. I play Red Dead 2. I know the feeling.
Red Dead Redemption 2 will eat your drive alive.
Just all consuming. I'd show the Vikings the Marvel 4 movies. I may not survive. Probably not.
They probably look at that and say, "What? What the hell?"
Oh no, she shows up in the third movie. Good way to get killed. If you read down the ESO Raven, shoot me an invite. We might do that now.
You lost Zone C.
Stop, you light spamming dirtbag!
Who would win, Susanoo or Anubis? I'll have to do more research on that, I think.
Asian gods can do mostly whatever they want.
Also, if Susanoo's meeting Anubis, that means that he's gone to the Egyptian underworld, which would be very awkward for everyone.
Yeah.
Zone A.
I can imagine the meeting now. So how'd you get down here, Kratos? Kratos. Didn't the Pope try to ban crossbows? Tried. I mean, several times the Pope says, "Hey guys, we can't do X." The kings of Europe, "Oh no, I'm doing X. Come over here and stop me."
Come here and stop me with your pointy hat.
Because there have been several occasions where the Pope says, "You can't do that." The Holy Roman Emperor, I do what I want. In fact, I'm creating a new Pope right now.
I'm making a new Pope so he can tell me I can do what you don't want me to do.
I do love the back and forth. Well, I crown the Holy Roman Emperor. Well, no, I crown the Pope. No, I crown. No, I crown. Just the.
But I'm going to crown this person who has no authority over me.
That's why Napoleon crowned himself emperor, just to make sure that didn't happen.
I'm surprised you haven't.
I want to go back in time and show someone the Star Wars trilogy and tell them this happens in real life. That'd be evil.
I'm surprised you haven't tried to all guard me, dude.
Allow me. You lost Zone A.
Oh, no!
Roll boy!
No, it's not that. He's going to heal. No. No.
Allow me.
You!
Oh.
Oh! I never thought I'd meet a bot 3 who was that level of dick.
The AI's learning.
The AI is learned.
Beat, boop, frick the flesh people.
Oh my god. I was like, alright, I'm ready for you. I'm ready.
I would bring Walt Disney back to the present so he could take over his company and then, yes. Yes.
Get out of my sight.
Who would want to fight an Archangel or Valkyrie? Archangel.
Archangel.
Valkyries basically deliver people to Valhalla. Archangels do some serious crazy stuff. The Clankers are learning. How would the Greeks and Vikings react to the God of War games? They go, what the heck?
They'd say, why?
They go, why is Baldur that big?
Oh! Call this revenge, you ugly son bitch. Done. Got Southern on your ass.
What the Pope should have done is got mega swole, chugged holy water each day, and challenged each European monarch into a duel to finally settle his authority.
I refuse to give up. Here, I'll put that right there. Come get me.
I would love to see the Pope. There actually is like a, there is a priest, I'm not sure if he's Orthodox or Catholic, I think he's Orthodox, but he's also like a champion weightlifter. It's like, Jesus died for your gains.
Aha!
Like
I was victorious. No! No, do not heal that bitch! Mine! Stop it.
Get some help.
You light spamming dirtbag! I can do that too!
Isn't Archangel Michael literally meant to throw down with Satan at some point in the future?
Yep. I beat them. I will hold the line.
Spartan's reaction to the God of War games, thumbs up. Wait, that bro's us.
Nice. I will hold the line. Love isn't always on time.
I want to show the dude who wrote Dante's Inferno, the video game Dante's Inferno. He'd probably go, you guys kind of missed the point.
No, get away from me.
Stay
Get away from me, demon. Eat fire blast. We all die together. Yes. 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 Ah. I should have screamed Allah Akbar at that moment.
What would Moses say to Hitler? I believe he'd say, Hitler, I diagnose you with letma. What's letma?
Moses would say to Hitler, fuck.
I still say he would say, I diagnose you with letma. What the heck's letma? Let my people go! How do you find level 2 box?
I think it has to do with your level in game. Like if you've reached a top tier level, it's just going to give you level 3.
Oh, Anthony says you may now enter Valhalla.
Valhalla! All right, I think it's time to go ahead and switch over to Breach.
Yeah. I still can't get over Sparta stopping an invasion by sending the enemy one word, if.
Yep, that is true. That is very true.
Sparta, keep in mind, this was not even Sparta in its heyday. It was after, like, a couple decades of them not being so hot. And Philip of Macedon says, if I have to come down there and kick your ass, your children will be enslaved and Sparta will be erased from the history books. If.
Well, what I love is you and I, the questions that we usually get in these kind of streams are usually history-based questions. So it's like, these are our new history teachers. Screw the people who actually teach us
Well,
history.
it's kind of nice because, like, history teachers, I'm speaking from personal experience, they have a curriculum they have to follow. They can't go to some of the more interesting stuff necessarily. We have to glance over it. And so this gives them an opportunity to ask the fun questions.
Correct.
What do you guys think of the fate? Well, we already got this question earlier in chat, ironically. We never really got into the Fate series.
No, we didn't.
I mean, we do like this one fan-made thing where they have Doom Guy become friends with Joan.
That was funny.
Who would win, a Spartan or a Viking? My money's, like, on a single combat, my money's on the Viking.
Probably a Viking.
Because keep in mind, the Spartans' glory comes from the Phalanx. You take them out of the Phalanx, they're not going to be able to, like, if you, like, we're talking, like, beast-level Viking, they're going to put them down.
Oh, for sure. Alrighty.
I love people who get super salty when I say Jesus could beat their favorite character because he's literally God.
Isn't it when people say, "Oh, I hate this. I hate this argument. I hear it all the time from neo-pagans and stuff like that, who say, your God promised the end of all sinners. He ended up on a block of wood, and there are still sinners. But my God promised an end to all giants. I don't see any giants." And it shows me two things. Number one, you don't understand the message of the Bible, and number two, you don't even understand your own fucking beliefs.
And three, the New York Giants are still around. Checkmate.
What I say, first of all, about the Jesus thing. Jesus did not promise an end to all sin. He promised that sin would come to an end and evil would come to an end on the second coming. And that has not happened yet. So, no. And yes, he did end up on a block of wood. He ended up on a cross. He got off, went into a tomb, and came out 3 days later totally fine. In fact, ascended. So, no, he is still alive, very much so. And as for your belief system about how there was a promise to end all giants, no, there wasn't. There was no such promise made by the Norse gods. They said that they would go to sleep until Ragnarok, when the forces of Helheim and Jotunheim would join forces to try to destroy the world, the mortal world, and Asgardians would wake up to go to war with the honorable dead to fight in Ragnarok. They didn't promise an end to giants. They promised that by Ragnarok they would fight and everything would be mutually assured destruction, because the Asgardians would die, the Helheim warriors would die, the Jotun would die, and the only ones left to brave the darkness would be Balder and a few others. So it's like, no, you don't even understand your own belief system. I find that hysterical. I'm like, you're coming at me thinking you've got some kind of checkmate on me when all you've proven to me is you don't understand either faith.
Yeah. And also, it's like, Balder's supposed to, like, resurrect himself.
Yeah, that's why I said the only one left would be Balder.
Yeah. But it's also kind of fun. It's like, your God died on a cross. Like, your God died to some mistletoe.
Your God died on a cross, and he got up. Your God dies by getting a snake bite. He doesn't get up. I can play that game, but like when people say, "Oh, well, but my God is a warrior," I'm like, have you not read Revelation and how it describes Jesus coming back? Like, a sword protrudes from his mouth to strike down enemies. His eyes burn like fire. He rides a white horse. Like he is a warrior too. He just didn't come as a warrior because that's not what he needed to be at the time of his arrival in Rome.
Yep. Oh, let's see. What if Buddha met Jesus? That'd be an interesting.
That would be a very fascinating conversation.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the concept of the Holy Trinity? We're Trinitarian Christians.
We are Trinitarian Christians. We believe in the idea of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The three in one.
Yep. Ravenlark, opinions on Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is an interesting character.
I don't agree with everything he says, but the dude,
he is such a stereotypical conservative. He's funny to watch for me.
He's hilarious. I love his video on What is a Woman. That was one of the best documentaries I've ever seen.
Just like his some of his hot takes are hilarious. Like he actually did like a hit piece on video games and it made no sense whatsoever. But like basically when you think of like the old boomer style conservative, that's Matt Walsh right there. And I love every second of him for it.
Well, here's something funny. I actually watched one of his videos where he said that kids' cartoons these days were becoming very left-wing and political. And at first I was kind of like, really? Let me see what he's got. So he pulled up, what was it? Arthur, the Arthur cartoon, and showed them talking about the oppression of black people. I was like, what? But are there black people in Arthur? They're all animals.
Oh, you gotta be careful. It's wading into some dangerous territory. Which animals are
which animals are coded black?
It's like that moment, like
better not be a monkey. That could get very inappropriate. So which are coded that way? Just curious. Oh crap. Oh, these are all bot twos. That's why you're a little easy.
They were even working on the gender changing snap tree. Black Marsh.
Black Marsh. Then what was the other one that he brought? There were others that he brought up. He brought up, I think, Hey Arnold. No. He brought up Blue's Clues. He brought up Blue's Clues because they had a drag queen in there. And he brought up My Little Pony too, but that one I was kind of like, I don't see it. Like
even he was like, I don't see it. Like
well, what it was okay. So the little ponies were seeing like their two aunts, and like yeah, they both said the girl called them both her aunts. So I guess the idea was they were supposed to be lesbian, but the two
I thought they were both spinsters.
Well, the thing is, neither did anything romantic or sexual towards the other. It could be very possible that they're just sisters, which would make them both aunts to her. So I'm like, I don't know. Look, here's the thing. My Little Pony's a lot of things. I don't think it would actually do that. Yet.
Alex Jones warned me about you.
Alex Jones told me this would happen. You're throwing in ponies and making the frickin' donkeys gay.
What do you think of Ben Shapiro? I think Freedom Tunes nailed him perfectly.
I think he is a very entertaining individual. Oh God! Why do I keep? No! Stop it! No! That's it. Oh, thank you for just whipping that.
Oh, here's the question. Hey Raven, I want to work on my stories, but I've been getting a lot of negative thoughts. I try to think positive, but it's hard. What should I do?
What do you mean by negative thoughts?
Like negative thoughts towards, like in general, or towards your writing?
Like you got to be more specific. Like you got to tell me what do you mean by negative thoughts? Do you mean like oh, it's killed by the Valkyrie? Why? But sorry. Like if you're saying negative thoughts, as in negative thoughts about your writing ability, push those aside, man. You gotta accept. You're not going to be the best writer right away. If all you think is, man, I'm not a good writer, well, then stop writing, you know? A good writer always accepts the fact, I can always do better than my last, you always have room to improve, so. Or is it just negative thoughts in general, like, I want to hurt myself or something like that? In that case, be a therapist, Like,
talk to some friends and loved ones.
Yeah, like.
Talk to your priest, or pastor.
Yeah.
Or rabbi, I guess. Imam.
Friends. Fonzie.
If Alex Jones fused with Ben Shapiro, we would have peak comedy material. It would be so funny, all of the funny things we'd see today.
The thing about Alex Jones and Ben Shapiro, Alex Jones is just meme level funny. Ben Shapiro is meme level right.
And the idea. And the idea.
Because the thing about Ben Shapiro is whenever I hear him in a debate, even though he talks kind of funny, but it's kind of like Jordan Peterson, you know? Jordan Peterson talks kind of funny, but the man's a legend.
Yep. He is the lobster king. You have to slay the dragon, man. Otherwise the lobsters will die, and that's how you get Nazi Germany. And I'm not going to support it. Seriously love that dude, though, but still it's...
Jordan Peterson, I've read 2 of his books. I've listened to a ton of his lectures. The man is incredible. The stuff that he's gone through, too. Like,
Oh. Your opinion on Rowan Atkinson? Mr. Bean, the guy who plays him.
oh, I don't know enough about him.
I really like him. I think he's an excellent, the way, like I heard his talk on free speech. Excellent dude.
I don't know enough about him to say anything.
Also, Johnny English, love it. Hypothetically, if you were to pour chemicals, would it not turn the frogs gay? They're turning the frickin' frogs gay!
It depends on the chemicals, because the sap of some tree can turn the lizards into chicks.
Yeah, well, actually, like they actually did create a soy compound given to fish can turn the fish, can have the fish go from male to female. And there's frogs, some frogs can actually do this naturally, but there was a study showing that there were chemicals being put into the water that was actually making a lot of male frogs switch to female frogs, but outside of just nature telling them, hey, they need to do so for the population, but just because of the chemicals they were being exposed to. So they weren't necessarily turning gay, it was more of something else, but along the same thing.
You know, it's kind of what Hannah would do to me, on a, if she had the power.
Thomas Sowell's really... Oh, Thomas Sowell's a genius.
Thomas Sowell's awesome.
You took me off guard with the Peterson impression. I had to spit out my soda. I both hate and love you for it. You're welcome.
The thing about life... I can do a decent Jordan Peterson impression if you give me a minute. Give me one.
Yeah, well.
Your Jordan Peterson's actually pretty good.
Well, basically, you just got to sort of be a more serious Kermit the Frog. A Canadian.
The reality is... You know, this is why we have the fictional archetype. You're never going to be able to achieve your goals in life unless you learn how to slay the dragon and clean your gosh darn room.
Alex Jones uses his power the frogs. I do not respect Alex Jones. I kind of respect it. You're not supposed to respect Alex Jones.
No, you don't respect Alex Jones. You laugh at him.
Alex Jones is a roller coaster. You just enjoy the ride. Freedom Tunes is great.
Freedom Tunes is fine, for sure.
What did I miss? Oh, so much, Fred.
See, the thing is, earlier someone was saying, why don't we do more response videos? Because that's the thing. If we could have these kind of conversations in a response video, it would be great, but we can't because so many people would come down on us like, yeah, you're Christian, conservative, white, male, patriarchy.
Well, the thing is, if we had started the channel off of that, it may be one thing that we started, but this is more of a gaming history.
Well, we've already lost so many followers because it's come out what our faith and political beliefs are. Had a whole falling out in Discord because of it.
I couldn't be more inconsistent with watching the stream. Oh, don't worry. Come when you can, and if you can't make it, that's okay. If you catch it, man. No judgments.
Stay away from me, demon!
Hey Raven, hey Raven, my negative thoughts are towards my writing skill.
Okay, I was kind of hoping, honestly, but...
Yeah, well, my advice is if you're concerned about your writing skill, I would recommend just writing more. I would also try and get people to read your writing, friends or something that are actually going to be serious and, they can help you. Because the thing is, if you're man, I'm terrible at writing, you're not going to get any better by not writing.
Exactly. There are times I just have to make myself write. And even if it's not even something that I'm currently working on, it can be something totally unrelated. It can be just a short story that I want to see, or kind of a cool fighting scene idea. Just write something to get writing, get the juices flowing. Listen to music, too. Listen to music, that helps me. It has to be music that fits the scene. I wouldn't listen to an action song while writing a sad scene. That'd be a little awkward. But, Take it slow. You don't have to make a masterpiece your very first time. Now blow this frickin' wall.
Jordan Peterson, I think he constantly not up to on pod to talk to his dog. No. No, you misunderstand. The thing is, he has a lot of great points, but he uses weird things. Like he talks about lobsters and compares it to human psychology, and he talks about like archetypes and so a lot of times people will combine everything he says into a bunch of craziness, and that's where it gets funny. Like if you hear a Jordan Peterson lecture in full, it makes a lot of sense, but people pull those funny little bits out of it and sort of mash them together, which makes it hilarious.
I turn you into a modern art masterpiece. But that's what I love about him, you know. But I think that he makes some really fantastic points. Like, I loved his talk on Pinocchio. I thought that was incredibly good. I liked how he compared Frozen to more old Disney classics like Beauty and the Beast versus Frozen. He pointed out that Frozen was politically motivated, agenda motivated, and he argued that that was the problem with it. He echoed one of Ben Shapiro's points that I actually agree with, that the song Let It Go from Frozen, while very catchy, has a dangerous message behind it if you really analyze what it's saying, versus something like Pinocchio's Let Your Conscience Be Your Guide, or Give a Little Whistle, as it's also called, which both had very different messages. If you listen to Pinocchio's song, Give a Little Whistle, the song is Jiminy Cricket singing to Pinocchio about what a conscience is supposed to do. The idea is, a conscience helps you understand right from wrong. So if you're in a situation where you don't know what right from wrong, give a little whistle, and I'll come running to help you figure it out. And so that was what we went, give a little whistle, give a little whistle, and always let your conscience be your guide. That was a song. A good message for kids, that there's right and wrong in the world, and you need to listen to your conscience to help you better understand what's right and wrong and how to recognize it. Frozen song, Let It Go, is a song about running away from responsibility, about how you shouldn't feel tethered down by the expectations of others. Like just letting it go isn't about letting go of fear. It's letting go of responsibility or fears of restraint. It's like, I can do whatever I want now. There's no one here to tell me no. There's no one here to stop me. There's no one here to tell me otherwise. I can do whatever the heck I feel like. And what is she essentially doing? She's running away from the responsibility of what she is. She spent her entire existence hiding what she is. And now, rather than confront it, face it, and own up to it in a healthy way, she's running from it. And she's having a very positive, uplifting song about how good it feels to let it all go. And that's the song that kids are taking from it. Now, do I think that was the intention of the writers? No, I don't think that was their actual intention when making the song. But that is essentially the message of the song to young children. Let it go, let it go. Don't hold it back anymore. Do what you want. And there are so many people who use that song as evidence that Elsa was lesbian, because don't hold it back anymore. Stop hiding it, like a coming out of the closet allegory. That was what they were saying. Like, it's basically, don't hold it back. You can be what you want to be. You don't have to be afraid of other people's judgments anymore. A coming out of the closet allegory. So there were a lot of people who used that to say, oh, is Elsa lesbian? And I thought, shut up. Sorry, I went on too long.
No,
I
there's
apologize.
the rant part. The rant is why we get there. There was less of a rant and more of a
discussion. And I 100% agree with Peterson. And he makes some fantastic points about fiction and about fantasy and about why we believe what we do and about why we enjoy what we do. I think he's a phenomenal thinker. I would love to sit down for an hour and just talk to that man. I would just love to pick his brain about a lot of things, you know?
Okay. First one, hey Raven, I have a question to propose. What purpose do you think psychopaths serve or psychopaths did serve? Are they purely mentally ill people, or did they have some purpose that they were meant to do?
What do you mean by purpose? Like a religious purpose?
Well, because if that's the case, I actually have a great response to that. One of our, formerly, he's kind of off YouTube now. He still, sometimes his stuff gets through. One of our favorite guys that was on YouTube was a guy named David Wood.
Yes, David Wood.
He ran the channel Act 17 Apologetics, and he still releases content, just not under the YouTube channel anymore.
Right.
He is a actual psychopath.
He cannot feel emotion the way we do.
Yeah, he literally cannot feel remorse. went to prison for 5 years because he attempted to murder his father.
Mostly because he saw no reason not to.
He saw no reason not to, and he was going to become like a Unabomber. He was literally was training in chemistry. He was going to do it, but he wanted practice, so he tried to kill his father. He failed and got captured. And while he was in prison, he converted to Christianity.
Because he had an inmate who was Christian, and he constantly tried to fight this guy, basically trying to say, I'm smarter than you, I know more than you, and I'm going to prove Christianity stupid. But throughout it all, he could not prove this man wrong or break his spirit, so eventually he ended up converting. Because logic, which is something that he adhered to, showed him that Christianity had validity.
If you go on YouTube, you should be able to find like David Wood testimony. Look at him. It's very fascinating. But anyway, later he goes to college and he becomes a Christian apologist. He even converts Naval, who writes the famous book Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus, and he becomes quite the incredible apologist. And his psychopathy actually helps him a great deal, because when people he'll get on touchy subjects and people will actually threaten him and his family. Whereas most people, that might scare them, he considers it and takes it as a challenge. It's almost like his brain was wired to do the work that he was meant to do. And so, if the question is like, why do some people still have these mental illnesses and stuff like that, it kind of shows like they can have a purpose. It's fascinating.
Well, it's funny. Like, think about Moses. Moses was a stutterer. He was bad at public speaking. He had a tendency towards deception. He was a scaredy cat. He had a lot of issues going on, but God used that to his advantage. Gideon, from the Old Testament, a coward, a weakling, someone who even his family kind of shunned. He was the weakest of his family. He was the one God chose. You know, God often chooses the people that we usually neglect or overlook, because his glory can be shown better through them. Like, for example, when Samuel was looking over David's brothers, God kept saying, that's not the one who's going to be king. That's not the one who I've chosen. Because you see with the eyes, I see their heart. You know, there are really good people out there who might think, act, or function differently than us, but maybe God can use that for his glory.
So we got a lot of questions here. Oh, Raven and Mark, what do you think of Steven Crowder?
Love Crowder. I think he's kind of gotten a little too doom and gloom lately. I think he focuses a little too much on fear-mongering nowadays. But as a general rule, I love Steven Crowder.
Love the Change My Mind series. I think it's really good content. And he can be a funny guy.
He can be very funny. I think he's a very entertaining person. Like I said, he's a little bit more fear-mongering now than I would like. I'd like him to lighten up a little bit, because one of the big questions that I wish someone would ask him is, do you think there's still hope for America? Because the way he talks sometimes, it's almost like, wow, you really do have a bleak outlook on things. And I'd rather he did, and I'd rather he tried to help people sort of see the brighter side of things, because there is good news, you know? There is always good in the world, but you won't hear it from the media, and I always saw Crowder as an alternative to that negative media.
Okay. Oh, hey, Raven, what's the funniest thing that happened in the Bible?
The funniest thing that happened in the Bible? Well, depends on what you mean by that. So,
Funniest thing. This isn't necessarily written in the book. It kind of is, but one thing is, like, the four Gospels all had their own influences. Like, Mark was predominantly inspired, like, he got most of his information from Peter. And if you read Mark, it'll talk about, like, the disciples were trying to do something, and then they sort of screwed up, and then Jesus had to, fix the problem. However, if you read Matthew, he'll talk about the same account, but he'll say it was Peter alone that was screwing up, and Jesus had to bail him out. Because Peter could be a bit of a goofball and, like, put his own sandal in his mouth at times. And so it's kind of funny. Like one of the first founders of the church, one of the greatest.
It's Crippling Vibes. I knew I recognized that username.
Yeah, but like one of the greatest founders of the church could also be a bit of a goof at times.
Crippling Vibes playing Apollyon today.
Apollyon, nice. Bring out Shadad. Well, thanks, Warhawk. Good to have you. Apologize, I didn't pronounce that name.
There we go.
Hey Raven, I heard you're having some issues with For Honor and Glory. If you need to take a break from it, do so. We can wait. Besides, you can't rush perfection.
It is hard to rush, and it's a very difficult story to write. I know what I want to do next. That's not the issue. It's making sure that I write it in the proper way. It's paying homage to the culture, the characters, and all that kind of stuff. The Wulin will be showing up in the next chapter. They will finally get their day.
Right. And this is a writing question. In regards to writing things like mental illness or graphic violence, how do you put them in with remain tasteful?
How do you put them in but remain tasteful? Well, with graphic violence, I try not to be too descriptive. With mental illness, I try to do a lot of research into mental illnesses and try to understand better how these people think and act so that I portray them accurately. But honestly, I don't write that many stories with them because I don't want to risk upsetting anybody who might have the disease or someone saying, this is what I have. Now, if I write a character with ADHD, look, I have ADD. I'm kind of in that similar vein, so I kind of know how that works. So no one can say, you don't know what it's like. I do. I've lived it. I've dealt with it. So I know exactly what it's like. But stuff like Down syndrome, schizophrenia, stuff like that, I try to stay away from that. Because I don't want to talk about something that I know literally nothing about. I have speculations on it, I have theories on it, but theory is not the same as correct.
This is a little bit what I was okay. Raven, how do I keep writing one thing when you have a hyperactive imagination that comes with 3 other story concepts in the end of the day?
What do you mean?
Like basically, you want to write one story,
right?
But then you suddenly have 3 ideas for other stories.
Oh gosh, that's a hard one. What I do is I just kind of like draft down ideas for all of them, and the one that's striking my fancy at the time, I will work on. And the other one will just have to wait until I have time to work on it, or until my desire hits. But as a general rule, I try to keep myself controlled to some extent.
Hey Raven and Lark, how dumb do you think PETA is? They are incredibly dumb, and they don't even support the cause they claim to.
No, they're
euthanizing dogs is their favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
I love that they kidnapped a little girl's dog and then euthanized it.
Yeah.
How more comically evil could you be?
You could kill puppies.
It's literally what they did. Like, how dare you we wanted to euthanize that cow.
How dare you eat meat, drink dairy, and all that other stuff? Like, how do you function?
I want to use it for my main character, but I also want to write characters that's psychotic or has split personality. Your best bet to do that would be to just research into the illness and disease. Maybe if you can find some interviews with like people that have those and how they and what it's like for them and their daily life, how they cope with it. I think that would probably be the best step to try and get your stress trying to go through it. Oh yeah, and PETA hated on Steve Irwin. You don't touch Steve Irwin.
Don't touch
that. That is
Steve Irwin.
Australia's national treasure right there.
Next question.
Let's see. Yeah, how do you stick to a story? How do you not let your mind wander? I have some character ideas in Toronto, but I just can't do it. I have no outlet. You gotta find that outlet, man. Maybe you can find some like World Anvil where you can sort of jot notes down, keep ideas in development. How dare you not support us till yet another puppy? What is your favorite RPG?
My favorite RPG?
Skyrim.
Skyrim, probably, yeah. Genuinely.
Yeah, I know you wanted us to say Fallout New Vegas, and while I like Fallout New Vegas, it's not quite Raven's cup of tea.
Well, even you would say Skyrim's better.
Oh yeah, oh no, I would say Skyrim's better. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Fallout New Vegas, but there's 2 big reasons. It's it's not number one. One is just I love Skyrim too much. And 2, Fallout New Vegas glitches on me so often, even without mods, even on my much updated PC, it still blows up all the time. That's why the 2 Lamentations on New Vegas took so long to produce, because my PC kept crashing. knight with PTSD. That's an interesting story. Because
That would be an interesting
story. Knights did suffer from PTSD, because we actually have like historical records of knights like walking down a hallway and like metal would clang and they'd actually panic for a second because it brought them back to battle. Fun fact, Peter.
What's this? Bring it
hug it out, buddy. There we go.
Buddy. There we go. That'd be killer.
Gotta get some love there. PETA operatives went to a seafood restaurant, freed all the lobsters. However, it gave them arguably more painful death by putting them in fresh water. They were saltwater lobsters. Don't you love their idiocy? It's like, I couldn't write people this stupid.
Hold on, we got a dab on this Zerk.
Dab. Indeed.
We just dabbed on a berserker.
I know we had Andy Bots show up in chat. I'm afraid I just jinxed him to show up, though.
Very interesting night. And some good questions so far tonight, guys.
Yeah. Well, Ravenlock, what is your opinion on Team Fortress 2? I'm not great at it. I enjoy it, though.
I like the characters.
The characters are zany and funny. The gameplay itself is actually quite good. I'm just terrible at it. But it's a nice little game. I think it's probably my favorite Valve game.
All right, well, we have time for one more match. We got time for one more.
All right.
Then we'll call it. So let's get a few more questions out of the way, at the very least.
What faction is your favorite from Skyrim? I think I mean just any group.
I like the companions. Pretty straightforward, simple. Fight people, make money off of it.
And it's not just because of Peachon.
And it's not just because of Peachon. I just want to do that. I want to walk in. I want to be a member of the companions. Walk in. So, what makes you think you can be a member of the companions? I don't know. Peachon, why don't you tell me? All right, you little shit, but that stays between us.
I love that. Obviously, the Bard's College is the best. I can't even say that.
You can't even say that joke and finish it. It's that stupid. Let's go Ruth. We're gonna finish out the night with Ruth.
I do enjoy the companions.
The companions are good.
I think probably like their storyline is probably the one that hits me home the most. I do like some of the characters in the Dawn Guard.
Well, I mean, if you want to count him as a faction, Sheogorath, you know, he's his own faction.
Hell yeah.
Lumberjack!
What's your? Well, we've never actually, believe it or not, neither of us have played Republic Commander. We need to though.
I've heard stories.
Glorious ones. Isn't there an ancient tablet or a series somewhere that, in the area how tortured souls and dreams were tormenting soldiers are the oldest case of PTSD? That might be.
That might be. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but it could be true.
We don't know when the next reaction stream is. We'll see.
We'll see. What I might do is next week I may do another DBD stream, since I've been doing like I did 2 Star Wars Old Republic streams, then 2 Skyrim streams. Might do a second DVD stream just to make it 2 of 2, and then after that, who knows? I might do a reaction stream after that. We'll see.
Mal, you like the Volcar vampires? I know why you do. I know why you do. I like them, but I think they're silly at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like, Piercer's explained, like, his story idea, he thinks he has PTSD, but as he ponders his time in war and how he felt, he actually realizes he loves war and he's a psychopath. I kind of like that, sort of like a corruption arc. That's kind of cool. Ruth, do your mentor proud. Have you seen Pacific Rim yet? No, we actually live on the Atlantic Ocean. I'll go with.
It's a good plan.
Who's your favorite TF2 character? Scout has some of the best
lines, but
the one I play the most is Medic.
Because he's just fun.
Well, not only that, I can actually be useful to the team that way. And I also get everybody yelling at me because I didn't heal them even though they ran right through the line of different snipers.
It's a hard call. I'm gonna go with yeah, I'll probably go with Medic. Either him or the soldier.
I also love Spy. because he does have some quick burns too. He died as he lived,
Morbidly obese.
after killing Scout off to visit your mother. How would you react if Hitakiri actually showed up in DVD?
I would freak. I would be so happy.
Hey Raven or Lark, in D&D, what is your favorite archdevils and demon princes in the Forgotten Realms? Raven doesn't play D&D all that often, and keep in mind, I just started playing D&D this year. I have never run into an angel or an archdemon, so I really can't comment on that. Right now, we're just starting at like Curse of Strahd. Demo Man is my man. I do love Demo.
If I was a bomb demo man, I wouldn't be sitting here discussing it with you on, would I?
Oh, they're gonna have to glue you back together in hell! I just love it as trailer. It's like, they got more than they got the likes of me. So, and then he just goes off. We. Of course, the sick burn against him. Depth perception, pal. Look into it.
Depth perception, pal. Look into it.
What I love is all these other games. Like, hey, no, you gotta be. You can't spam chat at your opponent. You can't do that. That's mean. Meanwhile, TF2, you get an achievement for making a guy so salty they quit.
Yep. Want to go that hard at, did you?
Do you know anything about the Enoch and the Watchers? I've never really I don't dabble that much into the Book of Enoch.
I don't care much for the Book of Enoch. It's more like fan fiction, really.
I was inspired by the Crusader story from Darkest Dungeon, and reports of knights that weren't normal. They may have been socio or psychopaths and were typically distant from their brethren. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Curse of Strahd is so good. What character are you playing? I'm currently playing a Oath of Vengeance Paladin.
And I am playing For Honor.
Dang, beat me. I honestly love the fact that Soldier hasn't figured out that Medic was probably a Nazi. I mean, did they allude to that? It's like, and that's how I lost my medical license. Is Medic a war criminal? I mean, they're all probably war criminals at this point. Raven gets ganked to my brain. Rattle 'em, boys! Is that a skeleton? Ooh, Ewoks or Porgs?
Ewoks. I'd rather have a teddy bear than a puff and steel wannabe.
Not to mention, what good can porgs do except be your meal? The Ewoks, those Build-A-Bear boys can take down some stormtroopers. Like if you ever played Escape from Endor, you know to fear those little Teddy Ruxpins, because they will F you up.
Ewoks.
Raven and Lark, what's your favorite Far Cry game? I think the only one you've actually played is 5.
I've played 5 and I played a little bit of 4. I think I touched 3 for all of 30 minutes.
Yeah, unfortunately our laptops at the time couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I guess 5, but I hate the ending. Although I do find great pleasure in killing heretics.
Yeah, we will get to that in Lamentations eventually. But my personal favorite is 3. Because Voss is an amazing villain. The leveling up system being a tattoo that grows on your arm is awesome. That is like one of my favorite leveling systems of all time. And just running around Rook Island and blowing crap up is amazing. Don't get me wrong, I love 4 and 5, and 6 was, it was okay. Oh, no, your favorite's Primal.
Oh yeah, Primal was sick. I love me some Far Cry Primal.
It's like, why should we play a caveman? You get to ride a saber cat into battle. Say no more.
Say no more, I'm on it. Ooga chaka, ooga chaka. Is that Orochi just gonna do the same?
Hey,
you know what? I'll just worry about this. Come here.
Aww, look at that. Who says love can't blossom on the battle? Hey Raven, what are your hopes for the Lord of the Rings anime? I'll tell you this. I trust Japan to do it better than I do Amazon.
For sure.
Bones Malone, Bones Malone and the Spooky Boys. How'd you find us? We covered our tracks from here to the Salt. Far Cry Primal. What politics? The only politics here is survival.
Exactly. There's no worries about political contests or shit like that. It's just we want to live.
It's like, no, you can't make a video game about, that doesn't involve politics. Caveman go bonk.
Caveman's called go bonk.
Yeah. All the best stuff comes from Japan, except aircraft carriers.
And explosives.
No, actually,
we deliver those. Twice.
Land of the Rising Sun. Funny, you should mention it. Oh, I get in trouble for that one.
Yeah, if I have fans in Japan, they're telling me you better not come here now. We won't like you.
Just you get off the plane there with a kanabo. How you feel about losing your kneecaps?
Oh, 2 for the price of 1. Oh, crippling vibes. You probably could handle it yourself, but I feel like I saved you there. Okay, that was glorious. That was glorious. A 2 for 1 shot. Play of the game. That was beautiful.
What if the 4th Crusade never happened?
Then it wouldn't have happened.
Indeed. The Byzantine Empire was still on the decline at that point,
so
but it might have lasted a little longer.
Yep.
Perhaps it could have regained some of its former steam, but yeah, it was already on the decline.
It was already fading away into the ether.
Fun fact: after Rome, Constantinople fell in the 15th century, like a decade or two afterwards, literally writers of the time were already writing historical fanfics if they could, write it and save it at the last moment.
Oh yeah, everyone wanted to save the Byzantines.
Well, the problem is, when they were alive, should we help them? Nah. But once they were gone, well, you can't get rid of the Byzantines. They're a staple. We found them. They've been here forever.
Wait, the Byzantines are gone? What are you talking about? We can't lose the Byzantines?
Personally, an anime style just doesn't fit Lord of the Rings for me. Depends on how they do it. And an animated Lord of the Rings series need to feel and look ancient and old and I respect that.
Explosive, going in.
Don't trust Amazon with anything fantasy. Watching the Wheel of Time taught me that. Yep.
Amazon, you really just don't trust them with anything. Yeah! We got our blue eyes.
They were the first one to make giant robots. Oh, you know
Talos?
like the bronze giant with the high cord.
Talos.
Not Stormcraft.
Talos!
No.
Talos lives!
Alright, Hemisphere, settle down. Hey,
Orochi, why you do that to me? It's not nice.
Hey Raven, do you like Star Wars making the cute-looking alien have the most disturbing lore? Jawas and Tusken Raiders used to be one and the same, and Ewoks and Draenor just no, so much no.
The cutest looking aliens have Darth lore? What are you talking about?
Oh, you don't know that, Jawas? Oh, what?
Oh, they're not cute. What do you mean cute? You think Jawas are cute? What world do you live in? Those little... I kill them by the truckload. I was with the stormtroopers when they shot up those Jawas, okay? I was the one who told them to hide their tracks and walk in single file.
Do Ewoks feel pain? Gosh, I hope so.
Like, I have no love for the Jawas. They ain't cute. Yeah, I'd sooner kiss an Ewok.
Hey, Raven and Lark, fun fact, Gilliman, when he got blurted out, he wasn't cursing, he was revealing the exact coordinates of the Loch Ness Monster. That's fair.
That's fair. Someone help me pull this out. Hold on. Where's Crippling Vibes? Crippling, come here. I need your help. Crippling. Let's get this out of the ground. Okay, come on.
Hey, Raven and Lark,
help me out. Alright, come on now. We got this. Come on.
They used Flex Seal to keep it in there.
Yep. Flex Seal. We put this sword in a stone. Anyone could pull it out. But with the power of Flex Seal, that shit's staying in. I'm King Arthur for Flex Seal.
Hey Raven, have you or Lark ever played the Force Unleashed games?
Yes.
So much yes.
First one was amazing. First one was amazing. Second one was
Too short.
too short, really.
I mean, I like where they were going, but it just as we thought, like, yeah, this is really getting good, it was over. Like, why?
Genuinely, I was kind of like, is this all there is?
Where did the tale of Excalibur actually come from? England.
England, believe it or not. Some believe that it's the sword of Charlemagne.
Some believe it's the Charlemagne of the sword.
And some believe it's a piece of Eden.
Hey, Raven Lark, what do you think of the TV show The Boys?
I haven't watched it.
I saw a bit of the first season. It was okay.
I mean, I have nothing against it.
It was okay. I mean, it's not bad.
The boys are back in town.
From what I understand, the comic is better, though. Hey, Raven Lark, how terrifying do you think hippos are? There is a stream of us, of Raven playing Neo 2.
And we discussed the terror.
That is the hippo.
Hippos are the most ruthless creatures on God's earth.
Oh yeah, we enjoyed The Force Unleashed. That was an amazing game.
Yeah, didn't we say that?
Yeah, no, but they was going, something tells me Raven enjoyed The Force Unleashed.
No, I don't know why you'd get that.
What?
idea. Why would you think that?
And of course, some of the classic dialogue there. You agreed to stay away. I
Lied.
A Sith Lord lying? Who would have seen this coming?
A Dark Lord of the Sith is a liar? You're a liar. And then, of course, we say this all the time. Isn't that right, Lark? Now I need you to get this shit to Nar Shaddaa. Can you handle that? Of course.
Every time in the Old Republic we're heading to Nar Shaddaa, that quote comes up.
Hold on, boys.
Have you guys played Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War? Yes to those.
I have played both. I enjoyed them.
Yeah, they're fun. I do love me commanding some orders. I know it's not canon, but it's still fun. Fun game.
We are victorious. All right, well, that's going to be it for me, I think. Because it's almost 11. It's time for me to start wrapping things
What's
up.
your favorite build in Skyrim? The one we're currently playing.
The one where I don't give a damn. I just have fun with it, you know? I don't even have to worry. All right, well, Ruth is victorious, as she should be. Anyway,
What about Vermintide games and their lore?
I don't. I only played like one Vermintide game, and it was like, I don't know.
I mean, the lore around this game is always fun.
For sure.
It's always just so zany and ridiculous.
For sure. All right, well, let's get through a few more questions while I edit Heroes, and then we'll call it a night.
Why is Valve afraid of the number 3? That's a great question.
Why is Val afraid of the number 3?
The Illuminati, that's why.
The Illuminati!
Because they're afraid if they complete the third, they'll make a triangle. A triangle might have an eye in it. If that triangle has an eye in it, that means they're all connected.
They're all connected.
Do the Hitakiri follow samurai honors? No, they follow the blood dripping.
They follow where the blood goes, because blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull god.
Yep.
For corn.
No matter where they come from, I think orc names are so entertaining. Like, I just imagine orcs sitting down and coming up with the goofiest names possible.
Your name gon' be Gut Ripper.
Why? He ripped gut.
No, that makes sense.
What's the most sane class in TF2? Probably engineer.
Engineer, most likely. And I know that's not saying much.
Don't mess with Texas now.
You done messed with Texas. That was a pain.
Are hippos a part of God's plan, or are they literally water demons? Perhaps both.
Perhaps a little bit of both.
That delves into the conundrum of philosophy. I deal with practical problems.
We can talk philosophizing another day.
Thoughts on the Kenobi or Boba Fett show? I personally think they're hot garbage.
They are both terrible, and Disney should stop. Just stop. Stop. Sorry, I had a moment. I don't know what came over me.
Did you guys play Doom Eternal or the classics? I played Doom 2016. I liked it. Hey, Raven, will you work on a cartoon? I mean, if we had the resources, absolutely.
If someone invited me on, and I had the resources to do it...
I mean, do you have an animator that's like, wants ideas? We'll happily give them.
Oh, I'll hand out ideas. I've got ideas. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. No.
Still 5.
Oh.
Disney should cease.
Disney just needs to stop. They need to stop. They don't know what Star Wars is. They don't. It's a sad day when I can look at you and say, why? Why? What have you done? What have you done?
Overwatch or TF2? Which one? TF2.
TF2. TF2 all the way. Overwatch is hot garbage.
Because why play with that British chick when you could have Scout? Scout is literally God's gift to women.
Here's the thing. Overwatch is lying to you. That's the thing about Overwatch. See, here's the thing. Overwatch, okay. Its trailers told you a story. You know, they always kind of hinted at, oh, check out this. This is such a neat story. This is such a cool story. Look at these characters. Look at this big, gripping adventure that's being built up, guys. Look at how awesome this is. But in reality, no, it's just a battle royale. None of what happened. Like, give For Honor credit. When they release event modes, no matter how crappy they are, they try to tie them into the lore and what's going on. In Overwatch, none of the battle royales have to do with what's going on in lore because they don't care what's going on in lore. They just say, look, new characters. They have presence. You will play them. It's stupid. And they should be ashamed of themselves.
Yep. Who could play Ruth in a movie?
I trust so few actresses. I don't know.
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Who's a better company, Ubisoft or Activision Blizzard?
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft is better. Like, I mean, not by much, but like with the recent crap that's come out with Blizzard, man.
Like, genuinely. Ubisoft has problems, but they're not as bad.
Who is the For Honor here with the least amount of bloodlust?
Shaolin?
Yeah, Shaolin probably.
Gonna go Shaolin on that one? He doesn't act like someone who wants to spill blood.
Hey Raven, you should rate every hero's execution. Actually,
I've done that. Although I have had a lot of people who are new to the channel and haven't watched my analysis series who have said, "Why don't you rate?" So what I may do is do dedicated videos to just executions. So now that I'm done with the heroes in history, maybe that's something I'll do. Maybe I'll go back, starting with Warden and working my way across the board and just grade their executions. Now that I've had more time to really look over them, you know, maybe. If that's something y'all like to see me do, let me know. In the comment section, I'll release a poll later on where I confirm, you know, because I don't want to do that if y'all don't want to see it, because I don't want people to be like, oh, you know, Raven, you've already done this before. I don't want that. So if y'all really want me to do it, I don't mind doing it. Give me something to do. Give me content to make. Put some more money in my pocket. I don't mind it a bit. Y'all just got to let me know, you know?
Yep. Hey Raven, what would Palpatine's reaction be if he accidentally executed Order 65? He'd be dead.
He'd be dead. But luckily for him, Palpatine was not that stupid.
Yeah.
He was not!
Unfortunately, it was the first call when he said execute Order 66 was, you want 66 orders of what, sir?
66 orders of
Arby's.
Arby's.
Is Archangel Michael the strongest angel? Angel.
I mean, there's no way of knowing who the strongest angel is, I suppose, but Michael's the one who will fight Lucifer, so I suppose you could argue he's the strongest.
Hey Raven, your thoughts on Rule 34 and its artists? Personally, I genuinely despise it with all my heart.
34, isn't that like...
That's the porn one.
Everything can be porn. It annoys me to no end. I mean, I'm not going to tell people not to be creative, you know, like, if you have a creative vision, pursue it, but I just don't understand why, you know? Like, why would you make porn of anything and everything, you know? Some things just aren't meant to be. Like, porn of For Honor characters. It exists.
Why? Why would you do that to me?
Why would you make that a thing? Well, that's kind of sad. I like that. I like that chest. That's a good chest. Fing Bao. Ooh, yeah, that's good. Give me a Fing Bao. I may play around with that later. Make it look nice. But we'll see.
Why is the Grim Reaper called such? Because some people find him grim.
Because he is grim, a negative thing, and a reaper of souls. Because at the time you reaped grain, and people were dying so fast during the Black Plague that it was like people were being reaped from this world.
Hey, Lark, did you see the new Total War trailer about World War II? Where is this?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, I don't think they do World War II. That's kind of outside of the realm of their expertise.
That would be a little weird.
I mean, let me go to Creative Assembly, see if they have released anything.
We can do that later, though.
Alright. I don't need to commit heresy with everything, agreed. Some people just want to watch the world burn.
For sure. Faux shizzle.
I guess I think we're slowing down on questions.
Well, that's probably a sign that it's time to start wrapping up.
Hey, Raven, what networks don't have agendas in their cartoons? At this point, you're
Very few. I think everybody's trying to insert something nowadays, which is sad.
Why did the Shaolin learn or develop a combat system in the first place?
To protect their monastery. When you're a Buddha, the Shaolin monastery had a lot of treasures in it and a lot of valuables, and people would come to try to steal it, so they learned ways to defend themselves peacefully, passively. And that's why. All right, any other questions before we sign off? Because it's getting late.
All right. Hey, Raven and Lark, which one of the 4 horsemen of Apocalypse would you be?
Death.
He has a series called
I have a series called Death's Diary where I write a diary from the perspective of Death himself, so that's why.
Hey, Raven, did you know that the new hero turned out to be confirmed an assassin type?
Really?
Surprises me considering he's using a pole arm.
We'll see. We'll see. Anything else?
Why Raven be good at getting rid of loot? Because he just knows.
Because I just know I'm good at getting rid of loot.
How does Centurion avoid tax evasion?
Very carefully.
Raven, would you want to own a Russian gift bag? Well, why not?
But why not? I don't see a problem with that. Anything else?
Guandao or Naginata?
Naginata. Well, I don't know. A Dao would be nice, but Naginata's lightness, for me, would be preferable. The Guandao, though, is pretty top tier, not gonna lie.
Alright. Does the Bible say anything about not committing tax fraud?
Okay, so I'll tell this story from the Bible and then we gotta go. This is the last one. Okay.
Right.
So the Pharisees once came to Jesus and they tried to trap Jesus. They do this a lot. And what they were trying to do is they were trying to ask a question of Jesus that would get him trapped. Because no matter what he answered, someone was going to hate him. They said, hey, Jesus, you know we're called to pay taxes to Rome, but some people are so poor they can't possibly do that and tithe the church. So what do we do? Is it more important to give our tithe, give our offering to the church, to the synagogue? Or should we pay taxes to Rome? Which should we do? This was a way to trap Jesus. Basically, if he said you should pay your taxes, then the Jews would hate him because the Jews didn't like Rome and they didn't like having to pay taxes. But if he said you should you should give your tithe to the synagogue, the Romans would arrest him for speaking out against Rome. So either way, he was trapped. And they thought, we've got him. Jesus responded, you hypocrites and you den of vipers. He said, why do you speak to me about such things? He said, show me a coin. So they gave him a coin, and he said, whose face is on this coin? And they said, Caesar's. And then he said, then give to Caesar that which is Caesar's, and give to God that which is God's. What that basically means is, God doesn't care about money so much as he does about your soul. Caesar has the money. Everything material belongs to material rulers. So pay your material rulers what they're due. But to God, give your soul, give your heart, and give your time. Yes, if you have to pay taxes to the state, pay your taxes. Give the state what belongs to the state. But do not give your soul to the state, because your soul should belong to God. And the Pharisees had no response to that. He does that a lot. Jesus has some great responses to Pharisee questions, because people always try to trap him, and he always hits them with responses that make them go, dang it.
Dang it, we did it again, you guys.
In fact, a lot of his parables, like the Good Samaritan, are responses to those kind of questions. Like, the question was, what's the most important commandment? And this is a hotly debated topic amongst the Jews, because the Ten Commandments have a lot of questions. Like, people are like, what is the most important commandment? What will this teacher say is the most important commandment? And he says, you know the law. You're a lawmaker. What is it? Tell me what you think it is. And he said, well, the most important commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, and all your soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And Jesus goes, that's right. And you do that, you'll see eternity. And he says, but who's my neighbor? Because he's trying to trap him, saying, who's my neighbor? Who's the person that I should love as much as myself? Who is that? Because it's going to be hard to answer, because there's a lot of animosity between people. And so Jesus hits him with a story of the Good Samaritan. And the reason that's such a big deal is because the Jews didn't like the Samaritans. They hated him. The Samaritans and the Jews did not get along. So then after telling the story of the Good Samaritan, he says, who is the good neighbor? And the guy goes, the Samaritan. And he goes, do as he did. Love a person who's different from you. The person who you may not know. And Jesus was constantly trapped. He was constantly given questions to try to trap him, like questions about, okay, so according to Jewish law, if a man dies, his wife is allowed to marry his brother, and if they have kids and all of them go to heaven, who is the wife married to in heaven? Is it the brother or the original person that she was married to? Who does that? And God goes, it's not going to matter when you get to heaven. You know, like, it's all these kind of things where they just want to trap Jesus. They want to get him into a hole. But in answer to your question, what does the Bible say about tax evasion? Jesus makes it very clear. Give to Caesar that which is Caesar's. Give to the state that which the state asks for. You know, don't shirk off on your duties in that regard. Paul even said in the book of Romans, give respect to earthly authorities, because all earthly authorities are put there by God for some reason. Even the Egyptians, when they controlled the Hebrews as slaves, they still were put there by God's power. God says in the book of Exodus, I have given you this much power specifically so I can demonstrate how much more powerful I am, so that the world will witness how great I am. You know, it's one of those things where we may not understand why certain leaders are put in power the way they are, but it is for a reason. It's meant for us to learn something. It's meant for something to be demonstrated. It's something along the way. So show respect to your earthly rulers, because they've been put there for a reason. And that means if they ask for a specific tithe or a tax, pay it. But it's more important to give to God your soul than it is your money. All right. Is that all the major questions?
I think that's all the major questions.
All right, then I think it's time to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was another Fun for Honor Friday. I do not know what is coming next week. I know that Lark has officially finished Assassin's Creed Rogue, so we will be recording that tomorrow. I don't know when the video will come out because he's got to edit it, but hopefully it'll come out next week. That'll be hopeful. And next week is my last full week working with Longhorn, so things are going to change. You know, things are going to change very quickly. But thank you all. You all really helped make this channel amazing. And I'm so happy to be done with Heroes in History for the time being, at least until the new hero comes out. It's been a fun ride. And if y'all want me to do, like, execution grading videos specifically for each hero, let me know in the comments or let me know in a post or something, and I will gladly do it. That'll give me more stuff to work on in the interim. Thank you guys. Love you guys. And I will see you in my next video. Take care.
Have a good one, guys.